Hi, welcome to True Mouse Games. My name, of course, as always, is Alex, and I have the honor of being your dungeon master for the evening. Welcome to the hunt. Tonight we are playing a second in a series of one-shots that is set in a Stone Age, basically D&D setting that I came up with. I ran the first one, the Blood of Our Fathers, I believe it was called, a couple months back, so you can check that out if you want on my YouTube channel. This kind of picks up a little bit story-wise where the other one-shot left off, but there's been about a month in between, or maybe even a month and a half in between those two sessions, for those of you who might have seen the first one anyway. We will be mostly running things by the D&D rules. We just flavored things a little different. For instance, we have one player who's a half-orc, but he's like half Neanderthal in this one-shot, basically. Otherwise, we're running things mostly by the book. And as some of you who have actually seen the previous one-shot might recall, we are playing members of the White Spear tribe, a tribe of ancient men and women, of course, that has once been living at the edge of the Icelands up in the north. But about 6 months or so ago, weird monsters started emerging from the Icelands and killed many of the best warriors of the tribe and pushed the last remaining about 60 or 70 members south, and they ran. And the shaman of the tribe, Drenga Ravenhair, had this vision that the next land that the tribe should settle on was their ancestral homeland, where the tribe supposedly had lived many, many generations ago, very far south at the edge of the Great Green Sea. And that is where the tribe is traveling and has been traveling for about 3 or so months now. And they encountered some troubles and dangers along the way. But yeah, they still haven't reached the Great Green Sea, so it is even further south. They have been traveling through like a swampy marshland over the course of the last week or so, and in this land there seems to have been some sort of disease waiting for them, a feverish plague that has overtaken many, in fact, most of the tribe members. Our characters have also been stricken by this disease, but they are amongst the first ones to properly recover, basically. Some of them, maybe through their connection to the ancient spirits that inhabit the lands or their ancestors. Others just by sheer willpower, stubbornness, or just ferocious stamina that does not give way to such a simple thing as a fever. So they have been chosen by Drenga, the shaman, to go out and hunt for the tribe because food reserves are running low, and most of the other hunters are too weak to do any proper hunting. While the tribe is not faced with starvation yet, the tribe has been able to pick up a few smaller animals close to their camp, basically. It might very well start getting there within the next week or so if this disease holds up and if there is not a large amount of food available. So Drenga has called the four of some of them, which are some of the most experienced hunters and warriors of the tribe, to him, to his tiny fur tent, basically. It's at the edge of camp, and to send them out onto the hunt. And that is where the adventure begins. So we have 4 players and 4 characters tonight, and they will be introducing themselves very shortly as they step up to Drenga's tent, and they can see these grayish black fumes coming out of the tent. Drenga is well known for using all kinds of strange herbs and breathing them in deeply to communicate with the spirits of the land and the ancestors and experiencing weird visions. He is an old man, but in fact, probably the oldest member of the tribe. Age is a relative thing in the tribe. No one's really paying too much attention to it. But his hair is still mostly black, weirdly enough, and many are respectful towards him, and some are quite afraid of this strange old man with this strange knowledge and these strange powers. But especially in times like these, in times where disease or wounds run rampant across the tribe, they look to him for guidance, especially since the chieftain has been slain up in the north. So as you step up into this tent or towards this tent, and this strange herbal concoction enters your nose, and all the colors start to ever so slightly shift around your eyes, and everything seems more real and less real at the same time. And you look at each other. That is where we are jumping into the adventure. So we'll, as usual, at the start of my one-shots, I'll give my players the chance to just introduce their characters briefly, mostly a physical description, so to speak. You have, of course, known each other for a long time, so you can add a little bit of a, I guess, personality description or background description if you want, but try to keep it short-ish. This is a one-shot after all, and we don't want to spend the first hour talking about characters, as interesting as it might be. So we will be starting on my right, so to speak, and just moving left, which means we are starting with Paul, who's playing Ashandare, and his class is a spellless ranger. So go ahead, Paul, please.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm playing Ashandare. He's a spellless ranger, but he's also a Beastmaster, and he has a companion named Naya. She is a saber-toothed tiger. Basically, Ashandare is he's a hunter for the tribe, so he's helped to hunt for different game to bring food back. He's also a bit of a scout. If they're on the move, he scouts up ahead with Naya. And he also likes to study herbs and stuff. So, as I said, we're a lot I guess we use a lot of herbs in there for different things. He does. He understands how they work together and where to find them if needed. So,
all right. What kind of equipment does Ashandare carry with him usually, like weapons and armor-wise, especially?
He has an odd armor. It's made out of bone and leather strapping, and he also carries a shield made out of an animal hides and wood, and he carries 2 spears and a long bow and with arrows, and actually he also has a staff as well. So he likes to be prepared for any situation. But he likes to also be, doesn't weigh him down a lot, so he can go out and still move quickly.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so that was Ashandare, the ranger, Beastmaster. We'll be moving over to Justin, who is playing Krull. And Krull is the only non-human in the party. Rule-wise, he's a half-orc, but flavor-wise, he has basically Neanderthal blood as the Whitespear tribe when they were living in the north, which they've been living there quite a while. They've sort of interbred with some of the more northern types of humans, sort of Neanderthal-ish blood, I guess. Anyway, Justin, take it away, please.
Hi, I'm Kroll, the barbarian. Well, like he said, I'm a half orc, which is half Neanderthal, half Cro-Magnon in this case. Just as a side note, I've foregone, for those familiar with the game, I've foregone some of the standard half orc things to take Mark of Finding because it's more of a hunter kind of theme, which fit this game a little better. Let's see, my armor is just standard, barbarian style hide armor. I carry a stone battle axe, a great club, and a sling and a couple spears, because I'm major dark / hunter to protect the tribe and to hunt for food. And I am about 6'4". I'm dark skin, dark brown hair. Strangely, I have blue eyes. I don't know if that's due to the half nature of my blood or not. And I'm weigh about 215 pounds.
All right, so he's probably the biggest and heaviest of our characters tonight. Excellent. Thank you, Justin. We'll be moving over to Jason, who is playing Belka, our shamaness, I guess, for the one-shot. Go ahead, Justin. Jason, sorry.
Close enough. A lot of J names. So probably of the four, Belka is the most comfortable as this herbal smoke kind of wafts from the fur tent. She's in her mid-20s, sort of this dirty, tangled ash blonde hair falls around her pale, kind of grimy face. She is almost swimming in just this wrap of furs and hides, which offers her some protection, but not much. She's a little gaunt, has these very intense brown eyes. She's about maybe 5.5 feet tall. She has sort of this hide shield strapped to her back. She's rarely seen without this shard of ivory that she's carved into a staff. It's probably the tusk of a mammoth that some of the hunters brought down, which is carved with different runes that supposedly, make it a conduit for the powers of the spirits. She has a small satchel with her as well, and a wooden spear strapped across her back. And sort of like the image that I've chosen for her, she has these tattoos, these 2 dots in her forehead, sort of these black streaks coming from the corners of her eyes, a horizontal bar across her nose, and then a vertical bar of black down her lips. But she is not concerned. She is not afraid of this sense of altered reality that the smoke is bringing on as she steps towards the tent.
Awesome. And that is Belka. And then we have Etka, last but not least, played by David. So go ahead, David, please. Oh, Etka is a monk, but we have a Kensei monk, but we have flavored him more of a kind of a spirit warrior, kind of a little bit like a barbarian, I guess, in a way, but more on the spiritual side.
I like to call it no rage, only focus. So, yeah, essentially, he is a skinny guy, about 5'8", 160 so pounds, very wiry. You will distinctively notice that he only wears like a leather hide skirt, floor length, and the rest of his body is literally covered in these intricate tattoos and even scarifications, which have been painted almost instead of just left as scars. Most are white, others are different colors, but it's mostly black, grays, and whatnot. And he's bald. The only facial hair he's got is around his neck, which is long, but they're braided, and you'll see little bones all in the little braids and stuff. He also has various bone earrings and a necklace. One distinct feature, and well, he oftentimes when he carries his club, which is basically a club that has been made into a war pick by various large carnivorous animal teeth. In his other hand, he carries, if you look real closely, well, at first glance, they're just teeth. But if you look really closely, they're actually human teeth. And he constantly plays with them like beads, counting them and chanting under his breath. And that's pretty much about it.
All right, excellent, excellent. So that is our group for the night. And as you are standing there, you can hear Drenga Ravenhair's voice coming from the inside of the tent saying, "Well, what are you waiting for? Come on in." He sounds pissed, but then he mostly does so pretty much all the time now. So you kind of push aside the flap, and there's this swath of smoke shooting out, and you slowly push yourself in. With all 4 of you there in the tent, it's pretty uncomfortably filled up. There's basically Drengas on the other side of a small fire, and on that fire, there's different herbs that seem to be releasing this smoke, and your head goes kind of loopy for a little bit. And Drenga looks, for a second there in this semi-darkness and with the smoke and everything obscuring him, looks much younger for a moment. But then you blink, and he's that scar-faced, old, sort of black, silver-haired man again, with this many bones kind of through his hair and through this sort of fur that he has wrapped around him. And he looks at you from small, nearly beady eyes and says, "About time you arrive. You've heard my summons, yes? For the hunt."
Sorry, I just wanted to jump in.
Yeah.
When he called us in, Naya goes racing in.
Okay.
It's part of one of her personality traits. It's a flaw actually. She just comes in and pounces on top of him and starts licking him.
Yeah, he pushes her off with surprising strength, sort of, while he's talking to you, and then, go! And she kind of retreats a bit to a corner of the tent, if there is such thing. As I said, the tent's not very big.
Sorry, you know her. She's playful with everyone. She loves everybody here.
Oh, that is fine, but we have no time for play now. You know that we have some food left, but not enough to keep the tribe fed for much longer. And the more meat I can give them, the more likely it is that most of them will survive this fever. We have hunted most of the smaller animals in the area. There is hardly any left, but the birds have told me that there is a group of Mamul, the tusked, hairy giants of the plains, only a few hours east of here, coming through. If you could bring one of them down and bring its meat back to the tribe, that would go a long way to help us overcome this sickness. I believe all of you feel well enough to venture out, yes?
Akid speeds up. Yes, I have been training all my life. I am ready. I know.
Kroll speaks up. Kroll is ready to hunt.
Good. Belka.
She nods.
You will go with them and make sure that they do not anger the spirits of this land. We have not been here long, but still make sure that all the proper rituals are upheld during the hunt and afterwards.
Of course, Master Drenga, I will make sure that they behave properly. And she smiles, this little crooked smile, as she looks at the other three and then settles back onto the ground of the tent.
Good. Then off you go. If you head east towards the plains, you should be able to pick up the trail quickly enough. These creatures are large. They leave a visible trail, as you know. He just leans back, watching you.
I nod.
Are there any predators that we should watch out for while we are out there? Anything that we have seen or noticed during our time in the swamp?
You have actually exited the swamp by now. The swamp's behind you. The swamp's about a day's journey to the north, basically. The edge of the swamp, that is. Drenga says, the birds have seen wolves and bears, and Nala's kind, only larger, fully grown. Be careful. We might not be the only ones desperate and eager for meat, although most of the predators of this area would shy away from attacking a fully grown Mamul. But you never know what desperate times some of these creatures might have fallen on.
Of course, that is good enough for me. And Belka will sort of lean on her ivory staff as she rises into a standing position, ready to go.
All right. Okay, well, if there's no other further questions, you head out and take a few breaths of fresh air, and your head starts slowly clearing again. And then you start heading east. And the land around here is kind of hilly, where the tribe itself has made camp in this kind of small hill range. But about an hour's walk to the east, there's this kind of plains area that's starting slightly, still slightly swampy, but mostly dry with tall grass and individual small groups of trees here and there, but not much larger vegetation as such that you have seen. As you are traveling What kind of marching order would you like? Is anyone traveling ahead, lagging behind a bit? And what's the group order, so to speak?
I'll probably go on ahead.
Okay.
Kroll would either bring up the rear or lead everyone behind Paul.
It's really up to you.
I'm designed for this, so.
Yeah, Ashandare goes first, of course. How far ahead do you want to roam?
Could we try and keep it within 30 feet? Belka actually has something that might be able to help everybody over the course of this journey.
You can.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'll probably bring up the rear, although I'm just everybody's fast or slower than I am. I can walk at 50 feet.
Nice.
But I'm patient, and yeah.
Excellent.
In that case, Kroll will be behind Ashandare because he is also built to be a tracker and hunter. So
excellent. So Etka is in the back, and we have Belka and kind of Kroll in front of her, kind of towards the middle, and then 30 feet ahead is Ashandare with Naya. Excellent. So as you travel, it is high summer now, which means it is quite hot, especially for you guys who are mostly used to northern climates. You have, as I said, been traveling south for quite a few weeks now, so it is warmer here. So you are a little uncomfortable, but nothing you haven't dealt with yet. The flies, however, the flies are everywhere. They don't usually get this bad up north. However, you have traveled through a swamp, and compared to the massive thousands and thousands of blood-sucking little shitty creatures that were descending upon you in that swamp, these flies are annoying, but not more than that. You sort of swat at them, and Naya's tail goes swish, swish as she tries to get rid of them before they can crawl into like her ears and eyes and nose, nostrils, and all that sort of stuff. And you kind of do the same thing mostly, except for Belka, actually, who seems unbothered by the flies at all. There's no flies seem to be coming close to her.
And I think as we're walking, sorry to interrupt, as we're walking, since she is unbothered by insects, Belka would just take a moment to call upon the spirits of shadows and darkness, the Vuli, and she would just mutter to herself. Her staff would begin to exude these almost oily black tendrils that would kind of cover the party in darkness as she would cast the equivalent of Pass Without a Trace,
All right.
beseeching the spirits of shadow and darkness to hide us from any potential threats.
Definitely.
So that's a +10 to stealth checks and all that good stuff.
Awesome. And that's like it lasts for an hour, I believe, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So as Belka reaches out and calls upon the spirits, everything around you shifts slightly, and it's nearly like the grass, the tall grass that you're moving through itself, and the few bushes and the shadows that are cast by you and the plants around you are kind of shimmering and moving to provide you with as much cover as they can. And if you look back, you can see that the grass where you have trampled through kind of shifts back and just closes your trail behind you so that you do not leave any tracks at all. An impressive display of spiritual power here. But most of you have probably seen it before. Belka just mumbles and continues walking. And as you are approaching the plains, I'm assuming you cast this when you are quite a bit away already from the sort of tribal camp, not like right in the outskirts.
Correct.
Yeah. So as you are approaching the plains, you can see quite far, especially to the north and the south. To the west, so behind you, is this little hill range. And to the east, there seems to be about 2 or 3 kind of jagged, rocky mountains is maybe too big a word for them, but sort of taller hills. And the plain seems to be disappearing into the shadow of those rocky outcroppings. And you very soon, Ashandare, pick up on a large trail. It's obviously visible, like bushes have been ripped up, grass has been trampled down in about 20-foot wide road nearly. And this trail is sort of coming from the northwest. and seems to be heading southeast. And you recognize this as a trail of a Mamul herd. You can see it like even from 100 feet away or so. It's quite big. These creatures do leave large tracks.
Yeah, I'll hang back and bring that to the attention of everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Kroll would like to make a survival check to help track it to allow him to use his racial bonus imprint prey.
Okay, excellent. So as you move in towards the tracks, Kroll sort of hunched over a little bit or even sits down onto the ground and starts looking at the tracks. Roll me so you can use your imprint prey ability for sure. Roll me a survival check, a general survival check for the tracks.
I have advantage on survival checks.
You can roll one as well if you wish.
I have Hunter's Intuition, which allows me to add a D4 Intuition die to all perception survival checks.
Excellent, yeah.
So
I wish I had taken that, too.
that's part of my half-orc thing.
Yeah,
no, that fits perfectly. That would have been nice for me to take it, too.
I think you're good enough, probably.
Sure, advantage on survival.
I have a 22 survival check.
Nice. So that's Kroll 22. Ashandere?
I forgot to get dice out. It's been a while.
Okay, yeah. That is useful.
Advantage 18 plus 5.
Okay, so 23. Okay, so amongst the two of you, following this trail is easy. I mean, anyone could do it. You could probably do it with your eyes closed. It's a wide swathe through the tall, about maybe knee height or even sometimes even waist height grass off the plains. These are the tracks of 6 animals, 6 Mamul animals. You can see they're massive, like nearly round footprints that are nearly as wide as one of you, basically, in the slightly swampy, kind of muddy path that they have made through this savanna. 6 animals. It seems like 2 of them seem to be adolescents. One looks a little unsafe. Looks like it's wobbling around a bit, so maybe an older or a sick animal. The other 3 look like adult creatures in their prime, basically very strong and steady. So 6 animals in total. You of course know that there's no way you can attack the herd with just the 4 of you. Mamuls are known to be quite aggressive when challenged, when attacked openly, basically, and they are extremely strong. They can rip out a tree with their what's it called, with their trunks, if they wish, at least a small tree. So yeah, facing 6 of these creatures head on is not going to end well, most likely. The trail is about maybe an hour old or so. So and the creatures do not seem to be moving too fast. So if you hurry up, you should be able to catch them up to them within maybe half an hour or so.
Okay. Kroll would ask to talk to Asharande of we should focus on the one that's wavering. It'll be easier to hunt.
Yes. I would actually, while we were doing this, I would like to basically use Primeval Awareness.
Yeah.
To see if there's any other beasts within 5 miles. I want to know if there's more or just these ones.
Does that work on beasts? Isn't that just for like supernatural creatures?
It's my favorite enemy, which is beasts.
Okay, I'm pretty sure Primeval Awareness is more for like spiritual things that leave a magical imprint on the land, so to speak.
Primeval Awareness, you by spending 1 minute, blah, 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 you can sense whether any of your favorite enemies are present. Basically, I'm.
Yeah, but you have to continue reading after that.
Sorry.
You have to continue reading after that. Where is it? Primeval Awareness.
Last paragraph.
Wait, what? What Primeval Awareness are you reading? Because mine says something completely different.
Oh,
so you spend 1 ranger spell slot to focus your awareness on the region around you for 1 minute per spell level of the spell slot you're expanding. I'm assuming you're spending level 1 because you probably don't have any Others?
What is a spell?
Yeah, you can sense whether the
Oh.
following types of creatures are present within 1 mile of you. So, aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
This is the revised version.
Okay. So this one has a different one. Oh, okay. I see. So what does it? How does it work again?
Basically, I spend a minute using concentration as if I was concentrating on a spell, and I can sense whether any of my favorite enemies, beasts, are present within 5 miles.
5 miles. Wow. Okay.
This feature reveals which of your favorite enemies are present. I only have the one, beasts. Their numbers and the creature's general direction and distance in miles from you. If there are multiple groups, you learn this information for each group. Okay.
So you reach out into the spirit of the land itself, even older than the ancestral spirits, and your consciousness grows wide as you are watching these this trail, and you pick up multiple groups of smaller animals around. You pick up one group of what looks to be some sort of birds, maybe vultures of some sort, that are kind of southwest of you, so in the direction that the Mamul seem to be walking, maybe following the herd or some sort. You also pick up the presence of a group of 6 wolves, also in that same direction. And you pick up the presence of one single bear, a large, strong presence. However, that is to the southwest.
And I'll share this information with everyone, since we should be prepared. We may not be the only ones on the hunt. And if there's presence of the vultures, there might be some other things. Maybe one of the herd is already dead, or something else that has been killed.
Just so you're aware, for imprint prey, now that I've imprinted, when tracking it, when he's within 60 feet of me, and it will choose the one that's been wavering. I have a sense of its location. It can't hide from me, and my attacks ignore against half cover.
Okay, well, this creature is probably not going to hide, and it's pretty large, so half cover is not going to do much. But yeah, good to know. Thank you.
And then you said they're within half an hour, so several miles ahead.
Yeah, you would guess a couple miles, maybe 2-3 miles.
In that case, Kroll will also do his at-will cast of locate animals and plants, and basically describe the animal we're hunting, and which allows me to learn the direction and distance to the closest creature of that kind within 5 miles.
5 miles, yes, that will definitely catch a Mamul southwest with the trails are going. They seem to be going pretty much straight ahead, maybe 2.5 miles or so away.
Okay, and I'll relay this information also to the group.
Mm-hmm.
A question for our 2 hunters, and Belka will turn her gaze to Ashandere and Kroll. This animal that is wavering, you say, is it wise to go after this particular one? If it is sick and we eat contaminated meat, we are only going to worsen the tribe's situation. Perhaps we should try and isolate a healthy bull instead.
Well, it'd be hard to take on a healthy one. We can examine the injured one.
Yeah.
But once we get there, we can make the final decision.
It could be old or injured, not just sick.
Maybe there's a young one. That would be perfect.
I agree. I think we should make our decision once we have brought the beast down. But that is fair.
All right. So you head off following the tracks. I'm assuming same marching order? All right.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Silence means no changes, basically. So you follow the track quite easily, and because the grass here has been flattened by the passing of the Mamuls, you can run even more easily, basically, following the trail, moving up on it more quickly. And after about maybe 15-20 minutes of running, you do actually see the herd in the distance. Half a dozen large, dark brown kind of small mountains of fur moving through the plains. They have you've gotten a bit closer to the shadow of these kind of the 3 rocky mountains that you have seen to the east of you, but you're still quite a few hundred yards away. As you are closing in, Naya becomes a bit agitated, and Ashandare, you also pick up on this. There is 6 lean gray shadows, timber wolves, following the herd, maybe about 200-300 yards behind it, through the grass. You can sort of see the grass moving, and every now and then you catch an occasional glimpse of gray and sort of dark brown fur, as this pack seems to be following the herd just as you are doing it, basically. They have not noticed you yet, however, apparently. What do you wish to do?
Well, I let everyone know quietly that I said we're not the only hunters, and there's some wolves.
I am ready for whatever comes our way.
We should perhaps try to avoid attacking them, because that will likely draw attention to us and potentially scare the Mamul. I might be able to talk to the wolves, but I would need to get closer than we are now. You said they're about, what, 100 feet away? Something like that?
From you, maybe about 200 yards or so.
Okay.
They're about, like 200, maybe 150, 200 feet behind the herd. And you're like another 300, say 300 feet behind them, basically.
Gotcha, a good distance away. If we can get close, I might be able to talk to them.
I can do the same. I'm a beastmaster, of course. So.
I also can speak with animals.
I think it's a common thing in our tribe to be able to speak with the animals.
Apparently, yes.
I am also a friend to wolves.
Oh, that's yeah. We got a wolf specialist.
Yeah, he's a wolf totem barbarian, so he's connected to the wolf spirit, basically, the great spirit of the wolves and the pack.
Well, then perhaps you should go and talk to them, Kroll, while the rest of us hang back a little bit, just because we do not want to startle them, and they might be more willing to talk to a single person than a group of humans.
Okay. What are we desiring? Are we desiring to, like, share in the hunt with them, or see what their intentions are, or pick a different animal? What are we going for?
Whatever you think is best. I think we need most of the meat for the tribe, so perhaps we should convince them to hunt elsewhere, or perhaps we could offer them a small amount of the kill, but the bulk of it should go to the White Spears. We need it desperately.
Well,
Perhaps
your idea
is to attack a healthier one. Perhaps we can take down a healthier one, maybe 2, with the help of the wolves.
That would be wise.
We can certainly ask, or Krull can certainly ask.
We can see if they will assist us in taking down a couple animals and then sharing the prize.
Yes.
Let us see what they say. Go ask them.
Bigger the better.
Krull will
you're
make his way over towards the wolves.
Yeah, just as Krull turns and starts moving his way in, you all hear this flapping sound, this flapping of many, many wings. And you look up and you see from the east, out of the shadow of one of these jagged mountaintops, comes a large swarm of black-winged birds, ravens, that circles overhead of you once, and you hear this flapping and this the sound of dozens and dozens of ravens that kind of circle, and then not directly over you, but kind of in the area, and then shoots past and seems to start circling over the Mamul herd.
That might not be good.
Would Belka be able to discern if there's any sort of spiritual influence upon these birds? Does this seem natural?
You can roll me a nature check or an arcana check, whichever you prefer.
Probably nature.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't matter anyway. It is a 12.
Okay. They were too far away and too far above your head. You couldn't get a good read on them or catch too many visual details, so it's hard to be sure. However, the fact that there's so many in one place, there must be about probably a few dozen, 50, 60 ravens in that group, in that murder, or whatever you call it for ravens. That seems strange to you. That's not, unless there's some large carcass close by, that many of these birds don't usually show up in one place.
Fun fact, a group of ravens is called an unkindness.
Or a conspiracy.
Okay. Oh yeah, I've heard that before. So let's call it swarm for now. Yeah, anyway, so that is what you have experienced.
Adka continues counting his teeth vigorously now, looking toward that direction.
The ones in your hand, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We must need to figure out what is going on before we maybe talk to the wolves.
Okay.
Does anybody have the ability to speak to ravens? I could, but they are up in the sky, and if I shout and try and bring them down, that probably will do more harm than good in this situation.
Are they considered beasts?
They are, yes.
So yes, I can communicate with them.
Can you do it without making a lot of noise?
It is possible, but I can also get a read on what they're feeling, maybe if they're affected by magic or why they're there.
Yeah,
So
but you would have to get much closer. The ravens are about maybe 200 feet or so up in that's too far away for you to communicate with them.
Yeah, through sounds and gestures, so I'd have to be closer to them.
Yeah, like conversation distance, let's say. So anything between 50 or less feet.
And speak with animals is range self, so that wouldn't help either. So
yeah, speak with animals. Basically, you cast it on yourself and you make animal sounds, and that's how it works.
So this might be kind of a stretch, but I'm curious. So Belka has the keen mind feat, which allows her to recall anything she has seen or heard within the past month.
Yeah.
Has she seen or heard animals, maybe not even necessarily ravens, but animals behaving or acting this way within the last month, maybe even under Drenga's influence?
You have seen Drenga, like, I mean, you know that he can watch through the eyes of animals, but he only uses individual animals, never such a large group for that sort of thing. And you have not seen any other animals acting. I mean, this is a strange land for you. You have only been here for about a week or so. So you're not 100% sure, but you have not noticed any specifically weirdly behaving animals in the area so far.
So Velka would just quietly hum under her breath for a moment and then look at Krull and say, Krull, I think you should go and try and talk to the wolves. We are accomplishing nothing standing here, and I cannot recall. This might be similar to something Drenga has done in the past, but he usually only uses a single animal, not an entire group like this. We just need to be careful. And if only one of us is acting, perhaps they will overlook us. Just be careful. And if there's any hint of danger, I would suggest coming back to the rest of us.
I should probably go. I can. They will recognize me as a kindred spirit, and if two of us, it might be. They might be. If they're desperate, they might attack one of us. They may not attack two. Less chance.
Kuro will go.
Okay, Naya, stay with shaman. Forgot your character's name. Jason.
Belka.
Stay with Velka. Keep her safe.
All right.
I appreciate that.
Naya walks up to Velka and gives her like a rub. Only Naya is way bigger than the average cat, so she nearly pushes you back.
Velka kind of like catches herself with her staff, just like, ugh, I hate this cat. And then she kind of straightens back up.
Naya gives you this kind of look.
Look at it, Shanda. How do you say your name now?
You can say Dar.
Dar, okay. I look at Dar and pat him on the shoulder. Call for us. I will come as quick as I can move.
Yes.
Try not to do anything stupid.
So Kroll will not be brandishing weapons while he's approaching these wolves.
Yeah. Okay.
I will
Actually,
keep Crawl under. I'll keep Crawl from doing anything stupid. Don't worry.
well, Kroll's kindred spirit with wolves, so he won't do stupid things around wolves specifically.
Yeah, just about. Okay. So do you approach the wolves openly, or are you trying to sneak up on them?
Openly, because and I'll be lightly touching my Stone Age-esque wolf tattoo. That's my totem.
Yeah.
And we'll of course we'll cast of speak with animals, and so like a weird energy pulse from my tattoo, and all of a sudden I can speak wolf.
All right. As you approach, the wolves do notice you very quickly, and you can see several heads sort of popping out of the grass, looking at you, and then 4 of the animals retreat and seem to be continuing to follow the Mamul. 2 remain behind, watching you. One kind of large, slightly older-looking wolf with a scar on the side of his face that has cost him part of his ear, kind of grayish-brown, and another bit smaller with darker skin, or fur, I should say.
Okay. So I can speak wolf now. So do they say anything, or are they just waiting for us?
No, they seem to be watching you as you're approaching. They are tense, and both of you notice as you come closer that they are pretty gaunt. They haven't clearly been eating very well. They're not at the point of starvation yet, but they are thin. You can see their ribcage under the fur.
I can sense their emotional state, whether they are affected by magic of any sort.
You do not feel any magic. They are cautious, nervous, and hungry.
Okay, and any I guess short-term needs is that they're hungry, I guess.
Yes.
And I can take action to persuade them not to attack, but I want to show them that we are strong, but not aggressive.
Yeah.
Show them that we can help each other.
Okay. Roll me a animal handling check, however, or a persuasion check, whatever you prefer, actually. You can do either of them, and you will get advantage on this one.
Thank you, because that was a 5 on the dice. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 18 on
Nice.
animal handling.
Okay, so you approach them, not deferently necessarily, but not aggressively either. And they do seem to kind of give you that sort of their posture indicates that they are wary of you, respectful, not overly aggressive, but certainly keeping an eye on you. And you can approach them basically up to like 30 feet or something without them trying to retreat or attack.
I will motion to Dar to let me go a couple steps ahead, since wolves are my totem spirit, and then I will basically embrace my totem spirit. And as soon as I get within communication range, I will give a wolf greeting to the elder wolf, or whichever wolf seems to be in charge.
The elder one, yes, from the looks of it. The other one stands like maybe a foot further behind, kind of to its side. So it clearly seems that this scarred older wolf is the one in charge.
So yeah, I will give a greeting to that wolf.
Yeah, it sort of gives a small opening, kind of like a nod, weirdly enough, but it's actually it shows the throat a little bit as a gesture of kind of respect and I guess trust in a way. And you can feel both its attentions focused on you, and the lead wolf.
So it theoretically could speak back at me too.
Yeah, yeah. The lead wolf says, "Hunter, why are you here?"
And I will convey of the equivalent of, we are also hunting for food for our pack. It seems both of us have not had great luck lately, because they look like they're starving. We're obviously starving, or at least getting close to starving. And
we have seen your pack. Your pack sick.
I don't deny that. And we are, so we're trying to make them better, but we need food, and basically convey what we talked about of trying to suggest that maybe if they would like to work with us, we could take down 2 healthy animals instead of just the weak one, and that way everyone will get plenty of food.
Giant, strong. Pack cannot attack. Too weak. We wait. If it die.
Wait to see if the weak one dies, is what he's saying?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, I will convey this to Dar.
Actually, I understood all that.
Yeah.
Okay. You did speak to animals too. Okay, do you have anything to add then, Dar?
So they don't want to help us in a...
They seem to be too weary of the large creatures, which can probably kill them with a single blow, to engage them in any type of confrontation.
Can they help us to... They don't have to help us in attacking, but help us with... to show a force that we are a big group, and maybe, or find a way to separate one from the pack.
Yeah, isolate it.
Isolate, yes.
Maybe. Why? What we get?
We'll share the meat with, share the food.
Both packs eat.
Yes.
We can take down the weak one and one healthy one in that case, because we'll still be able to catch the weak one once we get, get the healthy one.
One after other.
Correct.
Wolf kind of gives a nod. We follow. Giants. And they turn and kind of move away through the grass from you. Some sort of accord apparently reached.
Okay. I guess we'll go back to the group then, unless Dar has something else he wants to do while we're here.
No, I'm good for now.
Okay. So we'll go back and relay this to the rest of the group.
Okay.
Have the ravens done anything while they were talking?
No, they're circling overhead. Over the Mamul. Occasionally, individual ravens dart down a little bit, but never too far, just like a couple of feet down and then fly back up into the cloud.
Actually, when we get within sight, I would actually say, get Naya's attention. I'm going to tell Krull, I'm going to go up ahead and scout, and I get Naya's attention to follow me at a distance, and then we'll meet up closer to the herd to see what we can scout ahead.
So the rest of you, I'm assuming, following at a larger distance, but still following the herd?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Chandere, roll me a stealth check, please, for yourself and Naya.
Okay, I rolled a 6.
Oh.
Yeah, and well, I'm not incredibly dexterous, but I rolled a 2, so.
Oh.
And then Naya got, 8 plus 5.
Okay. So you sneak up on the Mamul, and you can see at the front of the herd are these 2 large, probably a bull and a cow, very, very healthy looking, sort of in the best age individuals. And then behind that is a single, slightly older cow, but still very strong looking, with 2, probably her children, 2 sort of adolescent, teenage, so to speak, Mamuls, one to her left and one to her right. And then there's 1 large old bull in the back, kind of a little, maybe about 30, 40 feet behind the cow and her cubs, or calves, whatever you call it with mammoths. And that one is probably the one that is sick, although it doesn't look or injured, but you can't see any obvious injuries. It's just moving a little slower, and you guessing it's probably just more age than disease or anything that has weakened it, and it's still pretty strong. It looks massive. It has a lot of fur and muscles underneath moving. And the fur, while it's a little patchy in some places, is still mostly indicating of a healthy animal. However, it does seem to notice you. Its ears kind of start pricking up a bit, and it turns its head, and it lets out this kind of weird scream shout through its trunk, and the rest of the herd stops for a bit and also looks. You kind of duck down into the grass, but you can see the eyes of the herd find you, and while they do not seem to really pay too much attention to you, they are a little more tense now. And the large old bull in the back keeps sort of glancing back a little bit to keep an eye on you. They have not noticed Naya, apparently.
Well, that's all part of the plan. So getting a better look at the sick one, can I... Actually, you know what? I'm going to do Primeval Awareness on them. I have not been aggressive to them, so I can still do this.
Yeah.
I tried to get an idea of basically their emotional state, magic, and short-term needs. And
Okay. The bull is tired. It doesn't see, you don't sense any magic coming from it. It seems tired. It seems old. It's driven by hunger, as most animals are most of the time. So you're guessing they're wandering down to some sort of better pastures further down south. However, as you're doing this, roll me a wisdom saving throw, please. And one for Naya as well.
Man, I'm rolling bad. 10 for myself. And Naya would have, let's see, a +4. 8.
Okay. So
change the dice.
You hear this cawing of the ravens. And kind of look over eastwards, away from the Mamul, and towards the closest one of those 3 rocky hills and small mountains. And there's this strong idea, this kind of pull that there's something there you need to see, something you need to find there. Maybe that's where salvation for your people lies. And without you even noticing properly, you kind of start moving that direction. And Naya following you. You guys from the back, the 3 of you, see this as he starts kind of moving away from the Mamul. However, you also see that the last one, the old Mamul, stopped and also is turned in that direction and also starts heading that way.
Where are they going?
It looks like they are moving towards that rock. Something is wrong. So it's Krull, Atka, and Belka kind of in like a little cluster right now?
Yeah, you're about maybe 300-400 feet behind, basically. The wolves are in between you and Shandere, but they don't seem to have showed too much reaction to whatever's going on.
I actually see me motion in the direction I'm headed. Like, follow me in this direction.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and run forward, but not in their direction, more like around on a kind of like at an angle, just to kind of catch a different perspective of what's going on.
Okay. Roll me a perception check.
Okay. Perception.
So Edka, sort of, which way do you want to run? Do you want to run like north past them or sort of west?
Okay, so we came in at what direction? South?
You're coming, basically, you've been moving east, and following the Mamuls, which are moving southeast. So, and he's now moving east. So you can kind of circle around this way or circle around that way.
Let's go around the underside.
Okay.
Of them.
So, yeah, the southern. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the southern side.
Yeah.
Okay,
That will make you run through the wolf pack. Well, I mean, not through because they're like scattered around, but through that semicircle that the wolf pack is making. But they don't seem to react too much on you. They're like watching you, but don't seem too aggressive.
Okay. Ooh. So is it okay? So my perception.
Yes.
Okay. It's just 10.
Okay. You don't seem to be noticing anything. I mean, it looks to you like Ashandere is kind of following that Mamul, that older Mamul that for some reason, which is certainly odd, has left the herd. The herd is continuing, looking like occasionally glancing backwards at their sixth member, however, but they don't seem to be stopping for him or anything.
I'm gonna stay where I'm at, but kind of keep on moving.
Okay.
A little bit ahead, but just kind of checking everything out. That way I can quickly run back to the group and tell them what's going on.
Okay. What about Belka and Cruel? What are you guys doing?
Kroll will kind of wait for Belka's kind of lead because he's just the barbarian hunter. He's not really a strategist.
Okay.
He's just to help with the hunt.
And I think Belka will look at Ashandare's unexpected diversion, the Mamul moving in that same direction, and then at Adka's he takes off, and she just shakes her head and looks at Cruel and says, "I thought you were supposed to keep Ashandare from doing anything stupid." And then she's going to follow kind of in Adka's wake, maybe trying to keep like a 20-foot distance between the two of them, gesturing for Krull to follow her.
Okay.
Kroll will follow and respond with Ashandare said he keep Kroll from doing stupid.
She just shakes her head and keeps moving.
All right. So the Mamul is...
Did either of us notice the crow movements, or the raven movements?
If you look up, the swarm seems to be following that single lone Mamul.
I will mention this to Belka if she doesn't notice.
Mm-hmm.
Something is wrong. I think the spirits are active here in ways I do not understand. We should be very, very careful. And she's actually going to get her shield out, so she has kind of her ivory staff in one hand and then the hide shield in the other hand. All right. And she kind of sinks low to the ground and continues trying to move forward.
Yep.
Kroll will pull out his it's a great club in one hand and a spear in the other hand for right now.
Okay.
I'm
the wolves have also, by the way, now swirled away and are behind you now, following that one lone Mamul east.
I'm gonna signal to the group behind me that I'm gonna keep on moving around. Also constantly looking out for what's ahead, and trying to keep pretty much. I mean, like Dar is here. I'm gonna keep like 10 feet or so ahead of him, just to kind of see where he's heading to.
Okay.
So,
yeah, he seems quite intent, looking east and kind of, and Naya is basically walking next to him, and they're both walking the same direction. They're not directly following the Mamul. It's more like they're both groups are walking parallel. The Mamul is slowly overtaking them, though, because it seems in more of a hurry. It's not running as such, but it has picked up speed, and its long legs do make large steps, so it is slowly pulling ahead. The wolves kind of now behind you, hesitating a bit, but still following. The raven swarm circling over the Mamul about maybe 200, fairly high, about 200 feet or so up in the air. As you are approaching this one single rocky hill, you start seeing something on the side of the hill. There seems to be a large patch of mist, and you're not quite sure where that came from, but it's kind of like it's curling around from the back side of this mountain or hill. It seems quite dense mists, quite big, nearly like a wall of gray that's kind of moving around the mountain a bit. And the Mamul and also Ashandare and Naya seem to be heading straight for that. That's maybe about 400 or 500 yards away from you at the moment. So still quite a bit away, but not that far.
Do I have any control over, like...
You can roll me another wisdom saving throw now, and also one for Naya.
Okay. 9?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, she did it. She rolled an 18 plus.
Yes, that is a success. So Naya sort of snaps out of it and looks confused. And then, I guess, continues following you, but more cautiously. Just like sniffing around and snarling ever so slightly.
Can I still do stuff?
You can still do stuff. Like, you're not like zombie mode or anything. You just feel this strong idea that going there into this mist is where you will find whatever you're looking for in life, basically.
Well, since I'm still close to the creature, I ask, does it know where we're going? Like, do you know what that is? And then I can also see if it's affected by magic.
Sorry, which creature are you talking about?
The one that we were hunting.
Oh, the Mamul. Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't answer you, but you do feel something, some sort of aura surrounding it. There seems to be some sort of magic now sort of moving through it.
Can I try to stop moving towards?
Yeah, you can try, sure.
Okay,
you stop for a moment. I mean, you still feel like you should really go there, but it's not like, as I said, you're not zombie mode. It's not
right.
You're not completely compelled. It's just like this strong idea that you think there's something really good, something waiting for you there.
I need to speak with Belka. This is I understand natural things. When it comes to magic or supernatural stuff, it's beyond my capabilities.
Edka, by the way, is only about 15, 20 feet ahead of you, so you can speak to him if you want to. The others are a bit behind.
How well? So, since we know each other, how is Edka in relation to supernatural stuff?
Well, he doesn't have any magic himself. He's connected to the spirits, but on a more, I guess, kind of like you, on a more sort of inside level. He can't command them on anything, but he has a strong connection to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess you can see the two of us are more in turn with the spirits, but when it gets a little more supernatural, it's more Velka's.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna wait for. Gonna wait here for Belka.
Okay. You feel kind of your legs nearly moving by themselves, but it's kind of you have enough control to kind of wait nervously, but you wait.
So do I notice all this going on? Like,
yeah, you do.
Okay.
I mean, you don't notice his thoughts, obviously, but you notice that he's kind of fidgety and staring at the mist and kind of seems to go there, to want to go there.
Also, did I see Naya just kind of like do that whole weird snap out of it?
You saw that. You were close enough to see that. She seems now confused and nervous and kind of like has this faint, nearly like a purr, but in a negative way, and like a very faint kind of snarl in her throat.
Okay. I'm gonna look at Dar and give him the nod of "I'll be right back." And I'm going to go run quickly to Belka.
Okay.
Belka.
Yes.
He is in danger. He is being possessed. Naya snapped out of it, but he is still in the zone. We must go.
Velka frowns a little bit, and then she nods and picks up the pace to get a little closer to where Dar is at.
Okay. Yeah, you reach him. He's still waiting for you. You can see he's sort of fidgeting around and constantly looking over to this hill and the mist. And the Mamul has now nearly reached it. The Mamul is very close to it. It's only about maybe 50, 60 yards away from it.
So this mist, you said it's like a a mist wall essentially on the side of like this rocky outcropping kind of.
Yeah, exactly. It's a large, maybe 60 or even 100 feet wide, sort of thick cloud, basically, of mist.
And around what time of day is it at this point?
It would be sort of late morning, so maybe 10:30-ish or so a.m. So the sun's still shining down very brightly, so you would obviously realize that this mist is weird.
Right.
To say the least.
So Belka will walk up next to Ashandere and just say, "Why is it that you always seem to rush off towards the danger when, in fact, we should probably take a moment to try and figure out what exactly this is?" And she's going to look at the mist while she waits for Ashandere to respond, just trying to figure out what exactly it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you give me something to look at, something to deal with tangible. I can do that. When it comes to the supernatural, that's why we brought you along.
You are easily distracted. It is annoying. And she's going to kind of focus more on this mist wall just to try and get a sense of what this is. I mean, it obviously has a pull of some kind because I'm assuming she can see Ashandere struggling against it, but she's watching this Mamul almost reach it. In fact, she's actually going to wait and see what happens when the Mamul actually reaches the mist wall.
Yeah, you only need to wait another 10-15 seconds or so, and then the Mamul just disappears in the mist. The mist swallows him up completely, and he's gone.
And about how far away is the bulk of the herd, the rest of the herd?
From here, probably nearly half a mile or so now. They've continued moving sort of southeast.
This is unfortunate. This is distracting us from what we need to do. But at the same time, if we could pass through and get the weakened Mamul, then we would have the food we need.
Ashandere, roll me another wisdom saving throw now, please.
All right, on the dice, that's 13, so 16.
Okay. Yeah, you take a few small steps in towards the mist, but as you see the Mamul disappearing inside of it without a trace at all, it kind of triggers some sort of danger sense in you. You like shake your head and you realize, oh shit, what is going on? I don't actually want to go in there. That looks dangerous. And this feeling of there's something waiting for you there, some sort of salvation or so, just disappears.
So I guess now that shaman Velka's there, it sort of helps me, like just her mere presence seems to disrupt the spell or whatever is taking a hold of me. And I'll shake it off and I'll try to... Actually, I'm going to try to see if I can still locate the Mamud using Primeval Awareness. So I need a minute to concentrate. And
while he's doing that, since that is the older one, that is the one I've imprinted, and yes. Can I sense it still?
How far is the distance on that?
Well, if we've caught up to him, it's 60 feet.
Okay, no, it is beyond that. The wall of mist, kind of that large cloud, is from you about maybe 500 feet away or so. So yeah, it's disappeared within it.
Yeah, sorry, I was just saying it's 5 miles from me. Once I need a minute.
For you, it's easy within the range. Yeah.
What are the wolves doing?
The wolves have stopped and they seem confused, and a couple of them are kind of looking over towards the larger parts of the herd, and a couple of them looking at the mist, and 2 of them are slowly stalking forward towards the mist, cautiously. The others are kind of hanging back.
So it looks like some of them may have saved, some of them haven't, basically.
You're not sure?
I mean, visually, kind of like Naya did.
Well, 2 are moving towards the mist, the other 4 have stopped, so it's hard to say.
Okay.
So Ashandere reaches out for the presence of this Mamul once more, and you can feel it. It's not too far off. It seems to have continued moving once it entered the mist, but it's still there, maybe about 100 feet or so within it, 100 feet beyond the edge.
It's still alive. I can sense it. Like I put my hand on the ground, and I'm sort of sensing the spiritual energies through the ground. I'll say it's still alive.
Oh,
it's only about 100. So
something.
Just ahead of us. Sorry, go ahead.
So something else you noticed: there is 2 adult saber-toothed tigers, only about 200 feet from you.
Inside?
No, they're not inside the mist. They are to your left, and you look over, you can't see them, but there is like a large group of bushes with a few trees there, and they must be somewhere in there. None of you have noticed that yet. Apparently, the wolves also don't seem to have noticed that. The creatures must be hiding in there.
And there are 2 saber-toothed tigers in that direction. And I point with my free hand.
Then I think our choice has been made for us, and Belka will just start walking, surprisingly confident considering this bizarre situation, towards the mist wall.
Okay.
Kroll will follow Belka's lead.
Okay. The ravens, by the way, have disappeared.
Like flew into the mist, disappeared, or
think so? Yes, you think so.
Can I? Are they within 5 miles?
You haven't sensed any ravens.
Well, this is odd. The ravens are gone.
It is probably all part of whatever this mist wall is. Someone is trying, or someone or something is trying to draw us in. It would be rude to decline their invitation.
Did he detect the ravens earlier when he did his primal awareness?
No, but that was when you were way behind the herd the last time he did it.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to keep it up. Basically, I'm just concentrating as if it was a spell, so I can still do walking and stuff, but and other things.
I'm not sure if you can. It says in 1 uninterrupted minute, so I'm guessing you have to kind of just do that if you want to keep it up. I don't think you can walk around and fight and all that sort of stuff.
I thought that was to get the initial one. Okay, that's fine.
So it's kind of just like you do it, and then it happens, and it's over after a few seconds. It's not.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah, you can't keep going unless you like actually sitting somewhere and just like constantly focusing on it.
That works. That's fine. So yeah, I'm going to continue concentrating on that and until we start moving.
Okay. And the Mamul seems slowly to be moving further away, and then it kind of, after another 30, 40 feet, it stops. And you can hear this sound, slightly distorted by the mist, this call of the Mamul shooting out basically over you, the sound of it coming out of the mist. And it has stopped there, apparently.
Does it sound like in distress, angry?
It sounded...
Communicate?
Yeah, it sounded distressed, for what you could tell. But it's hard to say. I mean,
but it's still, as far as I can tell, it's still alive?
Yeah, it's alive, and it seems stationary at the moment, so to speak.
This reminds me of the Black Pits.
Of the Black Pits? Belka will sort of stop. I imagine she's probably like right on the cusp, the threshold of the mist wall, and she stops.
Oh, so you have... Sorry, okay. Yeah. Has the rest of the group followed Belka?
Yeah, because she's been moving in that direction the whole time.
Oh, you're moving in.
Yeah.
Actually, my eyes are closed. So
I'm
faces behind.
I'm in between the two, kind of darting back and forth.
Okay, so I'm assuming Ashandari will eventually stand up and follow. So
it's kind of funny. Even though I've been talking to the group, I've been talking to Belka more importantly because I'm certain other characters are wise, but I know the two of us are more of the like leaders in that sense. And I'm talking to her, and then I open my eyes and I realize she's not next to me anymore.
Yeah.
It's probably not the first time.
Yeah.
Hey, just because I have an A charisma doesn't mean people leave me all the time when I'm talking to them.
Hey, animals like you, mostly.
Of course, that's what matters.
Yeah. Okay, so Ashandare catches up with the rest of the group, and you're now standing like maybe 50 feet or so away from this large misty cloud.
I take one of my spears and I stick it in to the mist.
Also, you walk up all the way up to the mist, and
Yes.
yeah, you feel when you approach, you feel it's the temperature dropping. It looks like this area is definitely colder. It's not uncomfortably cold, but it's noticeably cooler than just there, just like 50 feet away. And you stick your spear in slowly.
Actually, can I change that to my staff? Since I do have a staff, I'd rather that get damaged.
Yeah, sure. You stick your staff in.
Yes.
Swirl it around a bit. You can see the mist kind of forming these strange shapes as you swirl it around, pull it back, but nothing happens. Doesn't seem to react.
Atka, you said this reminded you of something. What does this remind you of? And Velka's going to continue actually walking towards Ashandare.
Mm-hmm.
The black pits where the black water dwells. Creatures go in, get stuck, cannot come back out.
Ah, that is a good point. But I do not think we have much of a choice since, and she kind of gestures behind her to where I'm assuming the herd has continued to move off. It's probably over half a mile away by this point.
Yeah. Yep.
We have chosen our fate, and the spirits will guide us, I'm sure.
So, so when the spear comes out, there's no problem. Like, do I feel anything pulling on the spear or anything happen?
Nothing like that. No resistance. Nothing.
Well, the fact that it's still alive in there and doesn't seem to no immediate danger. I'm all for going in, dealing with this first, and then catching up to the rest of the herd.
Belka's going to take one moment, sort of barely paying attention to Ashandare, and kind of place her hand like up against the mist wall and see if she can like sense anything. Try to maybe get an idea of what this could possibly be, apart from a lure of some kind. I don't know if that'd be an Arcana check or
that would be an Arcana check. Yes.
All right, I am terrible at this, so let's see how that goes. That's not bad though. That's a 15.
Okay. It's definitely not natural. You can feel as your fingers enter the mist, you can feel it's cold in there, and it's like the mist curls across your fingers, even nearly as if the mist itself was reaching out with fingers to grasp your hand. But it's not, there's no physicality to it. However, you distinctly feel like a weird thrumming sound, nearly like a heartbeat that seems to be of an arcane nature and sort of vibrating out, or maybe a drum of some sort through the mist. There is magic in there. This is not natural mist. This is something that has been conjured up by spirits or a shaman or something like that.
Okay, so she would take a moment, looking at her ivory staff, and just mutter quietly, "Enzi, spirit of might, give my staff the power it needs to vanquish our foes." And the staff kind of pulses with this pale green light. She's going to cast Shillelagh on her staff, and then she's going to say, "If you all have any preparations to make them now. We are going inside soon."
Okay. Does anyone would like to prepare anything else?
I start chanting to myself, rubbing my tattoos.
Yeah.
Doing little teeth.
I'll probably switch out to my stone battle axe at this point, since we don't know what we're gonna run across.
Mm-hmm.
Do we see the creature within, or is it just okay?
No, you don't seem to be able to penetrate the mist with your sight for more than like a foot or two. It's very thick. You can hear it occasionally. It's kind of like you hear this. It's weird, weirdly softer sounds of the Mamul. Okay. Any other preparations?
Yeah, you know what? Just because you know, she would probably do this just because she has no idea what's going to happen in there. She's also going to call out once again to the spirits of shadow and hiding to cast Pass Without a Trace on the group. So we now have +10 to stealth checks, and we can't be tracked except by magical means.
Excellent.
All right.
No, there's no magic here to track us. Not at all.
Not at all. And then she's going to, as these shadowy tendrils emanate from her glowing staff, she's just going to step in.
All right. You see Belka disappear in the mist. And we're going to take a 5-minute break so that people can go to the bathroom and grab some water and stuff. And we will be back soon. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, mister.
All right, guys. It seems everyone is back. So let us continue. Probably wasn't 5 minutes, but whatever. So Belka has stepped into the mist first. The other three just see her maybe for another 2 or 3 feet, and then her back just gets swallowed up by the mist. But you don't hear any immediate screams or anything, so that's good, right? What do the other 3 want to do?
Seeing,
I would follow.
sorry, go ahead.
I said I'd follow closely behind her.
Okay.
Yeah, I would too. Seeing Belka step through, Kroll kind of has taken a liking to Belka, so he would step right through.
All right.
I would follow.
Okay, so you all
Yeah.
stepping one after the other. The first thing that hits you is the cold. It is uncomfortably cold here for this high summertime. We're talking maybe, oh, you're all American probably, so you don't know what Celsius is. So it's sort of an average, let's say an average autumn night. So it's cold, but not freezing. So the second thing that you notice is the smell. There's this very kind of thick layer of humidity. It smells like water, basically, but there's something else in there. There's like a undertone of something more sweet, nearly like decay. And at the same time, there's also a more kind of thick, more pungent odor that reminds you of some sort of herb or spice, maybe. And you can hardly see, you can maybe see about 10 feet or so within the mist at the most. So because you're fairly close together, you can sort of see each other, but it's more silhouettes, not proper vision as such. The mist is very thick.
I'm gonna reach out and see if I can't touch her.
Yeah, you can. You put your hand on Belka's shoulder from behind, I'm guessing.
She
Yes.
she jumps a little bit. She's like, ah, oh, it's just you.
We should not be far from each other.
Absolutely. We need to stay at least within 30 feet of each other. Otherwise, the shadows will not hide us, though I don't think we need any help with that. And she's kind of looking around. What can we see apart from the mist? Anything at all? Or we just have this overwhelming odor?
Nothing. There's just the mist itself.
I'm assuming I'm ignoring my racial dark vision bonus because I'm not actually an orc.
No, you have dark vision, but it doesn't help you in the mist. It's not darkness.
Okay. Gotcha.
Like, there is enough light. The sunlight's kind of turning gray and protruding into the mist. You can see. It's not darkness that's the problem. It's just the mist in the air.
So is the mist almost like walking through like a forest fire smoke?
You maybe would call, I mean, I haven't done it myself, so I couldn't really say, but it's just very, very thick fog, basically.
Oh, okay.
Everything's white and gray around you, and it's kind of slightly moving, as if there's a little bit of a wind inside that you can't really feel, though.
Can we see the shadowy shape of the Mamul that came in here before us?
No. It sounds like it's really far away. You can occasionally hear it making noise, but you're not sure if it's moved further away or if it's the mist swallowing up sound. It just sounds like you can hear it, but the direction, you can make out the direction vaguely, but it sounds like it's very far off.
I had a rough idea where it was, and it stopped moving as far as I could tell.
From what you could tell, the last time you checked, so to speak, it had not moved since then, yeah.
Yeah, if it hasn't moved since then, it should be off about 500 or so feet that way.
Yeah, maybe actually about 200, you'd say.
Okay, yeah, and it should be in that direction unless it moved.
Yeah, you can vaguely see Ashandare kind of gesturing with his staff forward.
What is the ground here like? Because Belka kind of uses her ivory staff as almost like a walking stick that she doesn't really need it.
It seems a weird mix of rocky and wet. So, like, occasionally you can vaguely see the ground, but not very well. It's mostly covered in mist. Occasionally you hit like a rocky outcrop. It seems like partially there's some sort of rocky underground, but then in between the rocks, it's fairly wet, muddy. Not so muddy enough that you would sink in fully, but maybe up to your ankle or so.
This place is very strange. It reminds me of the swamp that we passed through not long ago.
I'm just letting you know, in case it comes up.
Yeah.
So we've been in the wilderness and traveling for at least an hour.
Yeah.
So difficult terrain does not slow our travel.
Okay.
We cannot be lost except by magical means.
Okay.
And yeah, if I was foraging, navigating, or tracking, I'm still alert to danger.
Yeah.
And the rest was unimportant for now. Yeah.
Kroll guys, like, do we need fire or torch?
That might help, though I'm pretty sure it would also draw attention to ourselves. But at this point, can we hear anything? I know what we can see and what we feel beneath us. Can we hear anything else?
Only the occasional sounds of the Mamul in the distance.
Light a torch, Crow. I don't think we're going to get anywhere stumbling around in the mist like this.
Kroll will pull out a torch from his like hip pouch thing and begin to light it.
Okay. Yeah, you struggle with it a little bit because the air is quite wet. But after about a minute or so, you manage to finally catch the torch and engulf it in flame. And you raise it up, and the light is immediately scattered up in the mist around you. It helps a little bit. You can maybe see 5 feet or so further now. So instead, you might be able to see maybe 15 feet far. But at the same time, you're basically surrounded by this halo, nearly this golden ball of light that the torch is creating.
I was thinking directing it to kind of more of give us our better view of the ground to make sure we don't step in anything we don't want to.
Yeah, you can do that. So you want to go first then with the torch?
Either first or next to whoever wants to go first, whichever the rest of the party desires.
Okay.
Yeah, I will go first.
All right.
Belka will go behind Chandere and Krull.
Okay, so Chandere goes, and where's Naya at the moment?
Oh, she would be next to me.
Okay, so Chandere and Naya walk first, and then basically Krull kind of right behind them with the torch, and then next to Krull is Velka, and I guess Etka would be slightly behind.
Yeah, well, I can do that.
Okay. How close do you want to walk to each other?
Probably within arm's length, I would think, just because it seems like it'd be very easy to get lost in here.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so that's fine. So you're keeping it very close together, and you step forward cautiously. What direction? Towards the Mamul? What direction are you going, Chandere?
That would be the direction I'm leading everyone.
All right. Okay. So you're following them. So Chandere, because you're going first, roll me a perception check for you and for Naya. The mist gives you disadvantage. Yeah, so that's pretty much that.
13 for me, and is it scent based?
It can be, yeah.
Okay, then it says just a straight up roll for Naya. 13 plus 4.
Okay.
17 for her.
You continue, you walk into the mists. It's kind of lays on top of you. It feels nearly like you're pushing through kind of wet silk. Like many layers of wet silk that sort of glide across your skin, leaving behind this moisture there. And the torch sort of sputters as the wet air hits it. And it's kind of goes up and down a little bit. You continue forward, except for your own steps, which are like kind of in the mud itself. You cannot hear hardly anything else. And then Naya's, after you've walked maybe about 60, 70 feet, Naya suddenly stops and lets out a growl and sort of gives you a bit of a nearly like a body check, kind of with her shoulder to your leg, Ashandere.
I stop and I'll reach out for Velka to stop as well.
Okay, put like an arm behind, and Naya is looking down, like towards something, towards the ground right in front of you, basically, and kind of lets out this.
Kroll will stop and focus and see if his imprint prey shows the mammoth within 60 feet.
No, it is not within 60 feet. You've. Oh, was I gone for a second?
Yeah, you glitched for a second.
Oh, okay. No, you cannot. You cannot feel the Mamul. It seems that it's not within 60 feet of you.
Okay.
Can I see what Naya is reacting to?
You kind of crouch down and look downward, and yes, you can. There is some sort of pond or something right in front of you, like maybe 3 feet in front of you, of this very dark brownish water, apparently.
Can I examine it?
Sure.
Can I tell what's in it or what?
You take a step forward and take a look, and that stench that you have sensed before, this kind of spicy, weird smell, enters your nostrils immediately, and you realize that Edka was right. This is actually one of those black pits that you might have seen or heard of, at least.
How far is Edka from me right now?
Probably about 10, 15 feet behind you.
Okay, I say to Velka, don't tell him that he was right. I tell him it's one of those. Looks like it was one of those pits here.
She'll just shake her head in the mist, but she won't say anything except, is there a way around it?
I try to find the edge of it and try to walk around it.
Okay. As soon as you do so, you hear the flapping of many, many wings coming closer, and you look up and you see black shapes with sharp beaks darting out of the mist and descending upon you in a cloud of screeching birds. Chandra, you raise your arms up, and what's your armor class? Are you having a shield on at the moment?
Yes. So
okay.
17.
Yeah, that is exactly 17. So you are not quite quick enough to evade the birds as they descend upon you and start picking wildly at your head, your mouth, and your nose and your ears. There's birds everywhere, all of a sudden, surrounding all of you, but most of them seem to be focused on the Chandere, just picking and screeching and everywhere. Chandere, you take 15 points of piercing damage. And roll me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, not my worst, but 17 on the die.
That is enough. They trying to go for your eyes, but you kind of push them away. Even though they hit your face and you start bleeding, they don't reach your eyes, thankfully. And we are in combat now, and we are starting with Edka. There's birds everywhere. Dozens and dozens, just like mostly in front of you, Edka, on the other three of your, or four, I guess, counting Naya, of your companions, but they are everywhere. What do you wish to do?
I guess start swinging my club, trying to hit as many of them as I can.
All right, go for it. You just through the mist.
Okay. So let's see here. This will be the second time I've ever done this.
Yeah, just roll a d20 and add your dexterity modifier and your proficiency modifier. So probably +5, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Let's see. Where's my weapons? Okay. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm using my war pick.
Yep.
Ugh. 9.
Okay, you swing wildly, but the creatures appear too suddenly, too surprisingly, and they just dart upwards, and you miss. You might have like hit one briefly, like a glancing blow. A few feathers fall to the ground. The creature screeches at you, but there's way too many. It doesn't seem they don't seem impressed. Is there anything else you'd like? Oh, you can do a bonus action as an armed attack if you want, as a monk.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
If you want to use a key point, you can use 2 more attacks on 2 more unarmed attacks.
Yeah. How bad does Dar look?
You don't really see it quite well. There's a lot of birds on him, and he's sort of flailing, but the mist and the birds don't allow you to see how closely. Yeah.
Is there any way I can get to him, then do my bonus attacks?
You can, yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yep. Okay. So you move in through the birds, kind of pushing them aside, and leap up to where Ashandere is, and take like 2 swings at them with your arms and your legs, trying to get them out away from him. Go for it.
Okay. It does say that the Kinsai.
Yeah.
I can use my weapon in the bonus attacks.
Oh, okay. Sure. Then go for that. Yeah.
I think that's what that.
Okay. I'm not too familiar with the Kensei archetype, so yeah.
I remember reading it. I'm looking at trying to look at it now, but
all right.
I should have looked at it before I started doing this.
No problem. Okay, so two more attacks then. That costs you 1 key point, however, so you have 3 left.
Okay, so 10 on that roll.
No, that misses as well.
And the second to last, 6.
You're adding your +5, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're flailing wildly, but it doesn't seem to be doing much.
Oh, that was a natural 1, so I don't know.
Yeah, you just miss wildly. You nearly fall onto the ground. You sort of slip. Actually, natural 1. Roll me an acrobatics check. Dexterity saving throw. You're at the very edge of the tar pit, and you rolled a natural 1. So roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, it's the same for my acrobatics too. So
yeah,
good. I switched dice. 17.
Yeah, that is enough. You slide, a bird hits you in the face, but you manage to sort of whirl your arms around, regain your balance, and do not fall into the tar pit.
Do I see that it's tar pits?
Yes, you do.
I look at Dar and nod my head.
Okay. Okay. Next up is Ashandere.
Okay. They haven't acted yet, have they?
They have attacked you.
Oh, so I don't get my advantage.
Nope, I'm afraid not. They're actually at the top of the initiative order.
Okay, so I stab with a spear. I have this massive looking spear, and I'm just holding it in one hand.
Yep. And
I stab and I miss completely. They're just too small of a target. I'm used to fighting larger creatures.
Okay, yeah.
Naya, can she try to pounce on one of them?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, yeah, sure. Why not?
They have to move. She has to move 20 feet mechanically.
No, that could be tricky. No, probably not.
Okay, so then she will try to bite one of them.
Yeah, just reaches up and.
That should be a hit. 17 on the die.
Yeah, 70. Yeah, definitely hits.
And she does. Bite is a d6. Nice. 9 points of piercing damage.
All right.
So I'm stabbing and I can't hit it with this big spear, this little bird, and she just jumps up, bites into one, and just crushes right through it. So, does it die?
Yeah, it dies, but the swarm doesn't seem particularly impressed.
Oh,
by the death of like 1 or 2 of its individuals. All right. Was that your turn, Ashandere?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay. Belka, you're up next.
All right. So Velka is going to kind of use her shield to keep the birds at bay as best she can, and then she is going to use. Excuse me. She is going to kind of clutch at her ivory staff and mutter under her breath, "Dubu, spirit bear, grant us your strength." And then this sort of spectral bluish bear erupts from her staff and just kind of lets out this noiseless roar. As long as we remain within 30 feet of, or as long as you folks remain within 30 feet of Velka, you have 9 additional temporary hit points, and you gain advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws for 1 minute, so 10 rounds.
Nice.
Okay.
You feel this surge of strength pulsing through all your flesh.
And then, so that's the bonus action. And then she is going to, has it been a minute since she cast Shillelagh? Probably, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, it has been, yeah. It's been like 3 or 4
totally
minutes.
Fine. So she is going to just lash out with her her staff, which is just a simple quarter staff, which she's wielding one-handed.
Yep, go for it.
Oof, that is awful. That is a 9.
No, you miss wildly.
All right, that is going to be it.
All right, Kroll, your turn.
Okay, Kroll will stop for a second, and he'll start breathing heavily and kind of give a wolf-like growl as he embraces his wolf spirit, and his muscles will flex as he enters his first rage of this game.
Nice.
Which gives, as the wolf spirit, so everyone, you have advantage on melee attacks against any hostile creature as long as they're within, the creatures pass within 5 feet of me.
Yep, that is pretty much all the crows. So yeah, the ravens. So it works.
And that's my bonus. So then I will swipe at the crows with my battle axe.
Right, go for it. One-handed or two-handed?
The battle axe, I'm going to go two-handed.
Yep, go for it.
That is 6 plus 1 second.
You can do reckless attack if you desire, but that you have to say that
I
earlier.
will do reckless attack on this one.
You have to actually call it before, but I'll allow it this time. But you have to call it before you roll normally.
So that's going to be 15 to hit.
15 hits, yeah. The squares are sort of exploding everywhere and flying up and down, and you manage to, with a few massive swipes, to catch a couple of them.
Okay, so that gives a d10. So that's going to be 6 damage for that attack.
Wait, what did you roll on your d10?
A 4.
So you have, what's your strength?
+2.
Okay, so you add another +2 because you're raging. Rage gives you a damage bonus.
Right. Yeah, so 8 then.
8, yeah. Okay, so you catch like 2 or 3 crows, cut them out of the air, but they, again, don't seem particularly impressed. And it is now the crow's turn, and as they see with this weird intelligence glinting in their black eyes that Kroll has basically opened its defenses completely with the reckless attacks, they will descend upon him with an advantage attack. Oh, natural 20. Ooh.
What kind of damage do they do?
Piercing.
Okay, so I have resistance.
Yep.
So have whatever you give me.
Thank all the spirits that you have resistance. Let's see how much damage this will be. Ooh. So that would be 40 points of piercing damage. Sorry, 38 points of piercing damage. So halved means you take 19 points of piercing damage. Remember, you have 9 temporary hit points from the bear spirit that was summoned by Nala. So you, by Velka, I mean. So you lose those 9 temporary hit points, and you lose another 10 hit points after that. And you also have to give me a Constitution saving throw. The crows are everywhere, just picking at your lips and your ears. One tears off a chunk of your nose.
17 on a die plus 5.
Yeah, you're fine. But they got you pretty bad. You're bleeding heavily. However, it is Edka's turn. And you have advantage on your attacks now due to the wolf power. of
Awesome.
cruel.
So I read it, and what it is I don't get the melee part of it. But if I use a melee, it's called agile parry. Essentially, if I use a melee weapon,
Yeah.
my AC gets a +2 on.
All right.
So, but where I got it confused is if I used a ranged weapon, then I get the bonus for
Okay.
that.
Okay.
But we're in close combat.
You are very close. In fact, the creatures are in your space, so to speak.
Okay, so I'm just gonna attack.
You have advantage because of the wolf spirit, so you roll 2 dice and take the higher one.
Okay.
One of your attacks.
Ooh. Thank you. Oh, much better. 15.
Yeah, 15 hits, yeah. You take swipes with your club.
Club, yes. 1d8.
Good thing that I critted the barbarian, not one of the others.
That is
Absolutely.
only. I know. I was like, when I heard that damage, I was like, oh.
Yep.
4 points of damage.
4 points. Yeah, they don't seem impressed at all. You like strike like one single crow out of the air, but there's still like 30 left or so.
I'm gonna spend another key point.
Yeah.
And do 2 more attacks.
2 more attacks. Yeah, go for it.
And their advantage on each one.
Yes.
All of them.
And all of them.
23.
Yeah, hits.
All right. Max damage. 11 points of damage.
Oh, nice. Okay. This time you swipe around, you smash one, you smash 2 more, kick one with your foot away, the bones break. They are fragile, fairly fragile individuals. There's just a lot of them.
Sorry, I did it again. It's the last. Instead of that, it was only 7 points of damage, unarmed.
Oh, okay. Right.
Sorry.
All right. No worries.
Oh, almost. Rolled a 19.
Yep, that hits.
So 1d4.
Yeah.
Oh, maximum damage on that. 7 more points.
Okay. So you catch one as it just tries to fly away with your hand and just break its neck, basically. Just throw it over your shoulder. However, there's still a lot of them left. And we are up to Ashandare.
All right, let's try this again, because I created this guy to be good at using spears. I have a +7 to hit, so
Oh, wow. Okay.
19 plus 7. There we go. 26 to hit.
That hits.
All right. Let's see. That was almost maximum damage. Only 8 points of damage.
Okay.
And can Naya move 20 feet towards one without taking opportunity?
No, the whole swarm is right in front of you. It's basically around you, so you can't. I guess you can move out of range and then jump back in, but that would provoke an attack of opportunity.
No, she can't do that.
Okay.
Actually, that's fine.
Yep. We'll go for an attack of opportunity against Naya. Then, yeah, that will.
Oh, no attacks. Sorry.
Also, no attacks.
Yeah, it's she gets another.
Yeah, no,
attack,
she gets.
but it's on the same target. So, but if she hits, she'll hit and she'll kill it.
Oh well, no. This is a swarm, so it counts as one target basically. All the crows are one target.
Oh, okay. Then you know what? We'll do that. She'll take an attack of opportunity.
Okay. Well, she will. I hit her with like 20-1 or something.
Oh boy.
So a lot of crows descend upon poor Naya as she tries to leap away and then back in, and she takes 18 points of piercing damage.
Okay, that was a stupid idea because she is now unconscious.
Oh, okay. So she tries to get away, but and she just
sorry, out. She's at 9.
Oh, okay. So she's still standing. Oh, yeah, she has the temporary hit points as well.
Yes.
As long as you stay within 30 feet of Belka, you'll
there's
always
this,
have that.
the aura of the bear protects her, reflects several of the crows as they sort of dive bomb her. She's still standing, bleeding, but going in for an attack now.
I just realized this wouldn't work because she pounces. They get a saving throw to be knocked prone, and then she gets a second attack. Can we just? I'm pretty sure that the swarm cannot be knocked prone.
That's fine. I mean, individual creatures can be knocked prone, so I'll allow it.
Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so she gets a running start, jumps up, pounces on one of them. Natural 20.
Nice. So that was the claw attack first, is it right?
This one has to be the claw attack first.
Yep.
Yes. Do you roll twice or?
Yeah, roll twice.
Okay. Oh, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points of claw damage.
Nice.
I love the revised Beastmaster.
So it now filled with pain and snarling, Naya pounces, catches like 4 or 5 of the creatures, slices them through with the claws, batters them away, traps several underneath her, and tries to bite them as well.
And then bonus action, she makes a bite attack.
Yep.
15.
Well, you have advantage because the creature is prone.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, 15 would hit.
Okay, 15.
Yeah.
And I gotta find a D4 quickly. I know I have D4s. I'll roll a D8.
Yeah,
instead.
sure. Half it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 3, 5, 8, 10 points of biting damage.
Okay.
Slashing.
Well, so you can see the crows start to be like weirdly not. They start to be falling apart. You can see several of them just like disappear into like weird. It nearly looks like the mist swallows them, as if they like are become mist themselves, and just a couple feathers fall onto the ground. There's only a handful now left, about 5 or 6 of them maybe still around. The rest has been either mauled by Naya or disappearing. And it is now Velka's turn.
All right. So Velka, seeing that the crows are falling apart, does it look like, are they like crow corpses, or they look like they were made out of like twigs and feathers or something else?
There's no corpses from what you can tell, no. It's just a couple feathers.
Gotcha. So she sort of bares her teeth in anger. She's going to use her bonus action again to call upon the spirits of might to grant her the power of the shillelagh, and then she's going to swing, batter, swing.
Go for it.
And that's probably going to hit. That is a 20 to hit, modified.
Yeah, definitely hits, yeah.
Ooh, terrible damage, though. 5 points of magical bludgeoning.
Okay, yeah, you swap, you squash 2 more, but there's still like 3 or 4 crows left. And we have, is that your turn?
That is correct.
All right, so Kroll, your turn. You are muted. If you're talking, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Happens.
Your voice and video are out of sync, by the way.
Oh, yeah, happens. Doesn't matter.
All right, so I will make another attack.
Reckless or normal attack?
I'm not going to reckless at this time.
Okay.
That is going to be a 19 on the die.
Yeah, easy hit.
And again, double-handed.
Yep.
9.
That is enough to destroy the last ones. You sort of catch the last 2 or 3 with some wild swings, and one tries to fly away, and you kind of kick it out of the air and step on it, and it just goes splash under your foot, and you can see a couple of feathers lying there on the ground, and everything goes quiet again. All of a sudden, from this horrible, screeching cacophony, back into quiet. Quite a abrupt change. And you can just hear your breath basically now, as you're kind of breathing heavily after the fight.
Okay. And then I'll turn to the others. I'm like, I think we got all of them.
And I think whoever is or was controlling them knows that we're here. And Velka's going to gesture with her staff, causing the bear spirit to fade into nothingness, probably melting into the mist.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be on guard then. I will watch.
I will do my at-will locate animals or plants and attempt to sense the trapped mammoth within 5 miles.
Yep. So is that a ritual spell? I think it is.
No, it is a at-will cast because of my character.
Oh, so is that a racial ability then?
Yes.
Okay, I see. Yes, it is about 100 odd feet in the same direction that you've been traveling. You can still sense it.
Okay, I will relay that to everyone.
Okay.
It's going to be interesting figuring out how to get the body of that thing out of here, if there is even a way out of here. But we should continue on.
How does everybody look?
I mean, if
yes, I can heal everyone. I have he pulls out some salves, some poultices, and band-aids and wraps and some stuff. And anyone, I'm going to be applying. I have one extra one. I apply one to Naya.
I definitely could do some. You still want me to be able to take the brunt of the attacks? I mean, I'm only down 10, but
okay. You get 4.
Okay.
And then let's see. Okay, and I apply one to Naya and then one to myself. I almost damaged myself. No, heal. There we go. On my app, I almost went 5 damage. So I am now out of poultices. They take me a minute to apply, and
okay. Yep.
Might as well use them all.
Sure. So you heal Naya and Krull that both have these horrible like talon and beak marks all over their flesh.
So yeah, I have these special bandages that I have a herbal mixture on them that it's a little doesn't smell the best, but it gets in and almost like, not that we would know this, but it's antibacterial properties and some healing.
Yeah.
It's polysporin.
The spirits in there are strong.
Oh yeah, there's some alcohol in there too. No. And then I bandage the wounds and they start healing right away. And so I'll have to make some more, but maybe for tomorrow.
Shandarai's famous poultices. Now they will definitely know we are coming. Let's keep going. Velka's going to try and see, because I know Atka was looking for this before, kind of like a route around the Blackwater.
Yeah. If you're paying attention, it's not too hard. It's not. It's only about a pond that seems to be about maybe 15 or so feet wide, so you can easily walk around it and continue on your path. And you hit another one, a smaller one, very soon, but then stop and find your way around that one as well. And as you continue forward, the mist seems to be getting slightly thinner, hardly noticeable, but it seems a little thinner here. And then you start seeing in front of you, maybe about 30 or so feet away, a large twisting shape, like shaking. It seems to be the Mamul. It seems smaller than you remember it, though. Weirdly enough, like it's shrunk in some way. You can just see the sort of the silhouette, the trunk sort of swashing around a bit, and it seems to be like shaking as if it's cold or in pain or some sort. It hardly does any noise. It just lets out these deep breaths. The mighty lungs moving.
Are we on the back side of it, or
you're on the back side of it? Yes.
Okay. We should go around.
Velka nods, but she's she's looking at the Mamul. Can we see it well enough to see, like, has its fur changed color? Does it look like it's...
No, you can only see like the silhouette at the moment. You'd have to go closer. The mist is too thick to see details at the moment.
So she'll look at you, Atka, and say, I think I have an idea. Is there any way that you Ashandarai or you Kroll could get closer and tell me, does the beast look like it's getting... And she pauses almost like she's not entirely sure. Does it look like the beast is getting younger?
I can move closer and quieter.
You may not see it in the mist, but you get a glare from Dar when you say that.
So I want to move around. I have the feet mobile.
Yeah, nice. So you get
And-
bonus.
Yeah, and I want to move stealthily too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
So roll me a stealth check.
Okay.
I reckon the so the pass without trace is technically still on, isn't it?
Probably
I
not.
think
It
so.
is. Oh, it is an hour. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
how many feet do I have to be though?
You have to be within 30 feet of
Oh,
Velka.
that's true. That's not.
no,
gonna-
but that was to cast it. Now he has it on him.
No, I think it's an aura. Kind of like you
Yeah.
have to
Oh, it's an aura?
Each creature you choose within 30 feet of you has a +10 bonus to dexterity, stealth checks, and can't be tracked except by magical means.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says it radiates from me. So yeah, it would be an aura.
Oh, it's not a spell. It's the ability.
No, it is a spell, but that's
No,
how
it's
the
a spell,
works.
but it's an
Oh.
aura. It moves with Velka. It doesn't.
Oh,
She can't
okay.
bestow it on people. Yeah.
So how far away is
The
Mammoth.
Mamul is about 30 feet from you, but if you want to go on the other side
Yeah.
of it, it's probably about 60, maybe 50 feet or so.
I'm gonna do that anyway. So I rolled a 21 on my stealth.
Okay, excellent. So you just disappear and start circling around. And do you want to get close to it as well, or just circle around kind of with
Just
the same
kinda-
distance?
Yeah, I mean, I want to get a little bit closer, but I don't want to. I mean, how much cover do I have? I mean, is the
Not
grass?
much. I mean, the mist gives you cover. The mist gives you
Oh,
cover,
okay.
but there's hardly any vegetation or anything there.
Okay, so I'm gonna go around, get a little bit closer, try to stay out of its eye shot if I can.
Okay. How close do you want to get?
Probably about. Let's see. How far away now? You said we're 30 feet,
30
and then
feet,
I
yeah.
move around. So I guess 30 feet. Kind of
you
stay
still-
within
You still stay. Okay, yeah.
little
Yeah, it
30-foot bubble.
seems to be kind of struggling a little bit. It's just like shaking, and its trunk is sort of swirling around a bit. Yeah, you can't really make out any more details. It doesn't seem to notice you, though. It's certainly distressed in some
Okay.
way.
Do I see anything else though as I move around with?
Roll me a perception check
Okay.
with disadvantage because of the mist.
That was a nice roll. Ooh, that's good. Perception. 15.
Okay, you don't notice anything else, like no other creature or anything like that, but you notice something weird. It looks like the mist itself, where the Mamul is, seems thicker, like as if it's the Mamul itself, or most of its body anyway, is covered by this blanket of mist, nearly like a cocoon in some way.
Okay. Then I'm gonna move back around to the group.
Okay.
Velka. There is a cocoon
Oh,
around.
sorry. What you also noticed is the reason why the Mamul is smaller is because it's half sunk. It's
Oh, okay.
stuck in a tar pit.
Okay.
So its legs are no longer visible. It's kind of like up to the side.
Okay. It is stuck in the black water. But the mist acts like some kind of cocoon. It's thicker, more dense. Do not understand.
Neither do I. This is unfortunate, though. The entire reason we came into this clearly dangerous place, and she'll look over to to you, Dar, as well as to Naya, just seeing your wounds, was to get that creature, and now I am not sure how we are going to get it out. Any ideas?
I see if there's anything we can use. I also have ropes, but I don't know to be able to help the beast out. Like if there's a branches, or maybe with ropes, or if we tie enough to it. Do I have any idea if that would work or survive?
Possibly. Ropes could work. Yeah, it's pretty heavy, that thing, but there's 4 of you, and most of you are pretty strong. So yeah, maybe it could work.
Do we still have advantage? Do we still have advantage on?
No, the bear spirit is gone.
Oh, okay. Do you guys want to try it? We might be able to help it out. Give it a chance, and then. Or just move on?
I think we should give it a try. I'm not sure how we will get out of here with the beast, but we should at least attempt to bring it back to our tribe.
Well, if we use the vines and leather quote unquote ropes that we have, we could probably use that to lead it out of the mists also.
I might be able to guide it out, but let's first focus on getting it out. If we can't get it out of the black water, then there's no choice.
So Belka will pull out a length of rope that she has as well, and she'll pass it off to you, Atka, if you don't have any. But then she's actually going to go over to where the creature is, and she's just going to start talking to it. She has an ability called Speech of the Woods. So beasts can understand her. She can't necessarily understand them back. Okay. But she's going to attempt to just say, "Mighty Mamul, be at peace. We are trying to help you. Let us assist you as much as possible. We are going to try and pull you out of here, but you need to help us with your strength."
So as you step forward onto the edge of this tar pit, basically, it's a larger one that the Mamul has fallen into. You start speaking to it, and as you do, you feel this presence. All of a sudden, like someone standing right behind you. That's what it feels like. You kind of look around, but there's no one there, just as you try to start talking. And then you can all hear this voice. It comes like whispering out of the mist. It seems like to be coming from multiple directions at once. And the voice says, "You should not have come here. This is not your land. You come to steal and to meddle in things that do not concern you."
Well, that's not creepy at all.
Well said, Cruel. Reveal yourself, stranger.
You make no demands of the Krayakin on their own land.
Any idea what a Krayakin is?
Does anyone have a history proficiency here?
I have a +2 to history, but I'm not proficient.
I might. No, I don't.
No.
I have religion.
Then
my history is -1, so it's probably not going to help.
Yeah. So sorry. Does anyone have a religion proficiency?
I do.
Okay. Roll me a religion check.
14.
Okay. You've heard the name before from some old legends. Krayakin. It's some sort of night creature, some evil spirit, but you're not quite sure. It's been so long that these are stories that you've heard as a child, basically.
We are dealing with evil spirits from the past.
That is not at all surprising considering the situation. Belka's going to just kind of scan the area. Is there any indication of where this voice is coming from? I know you said it sounded like it was behind her, but she didn't see anything.
No, the voice sounds like it was coming from like 3 or 4 different directions around you, as if multiple creatures are speaking with the same voice. But that could just be the mist. Roll me a perception check with disadvantage.
Ooh. That was actually really good. That's not too bad. How about a 16?
Okay. the voice, you think, even though it's distorted by mist and probably by some sort of magical means, seems to be coming somewhere off to your left. You can't quite pinpoint it, but it's kind of somewhere off to the left, and it doesn't seem like it's far away. You should be able to see the creature that is speaking, but there's nothing there, just mist.
While everyone is doing their thing, I'm going to reach out Primeval Awareness again, see if I what beasts I
That
can
takes a
find.
minute, doesn't it?
Yes, that's why I'm just starting it now, and we'll see.
Okay. Okay, so you sort of start focusing. What does the rest of you want to do?
I think seeing Shandarai beginning to prepare something, Belka will just sort of stand over him with her staff and shield out, just trying to figure out where these voices are coming from, looking in the direction that she thinks they're coming from.
Okay, you hear this sort of deep kind of snarl sound coming from the mist.
I'm also getting
Kroll will
ready.
take a defensive stance over Dar.
Okay, so you move sort of back to back to back, kind of, in a way.
Yeah. Me too.
As you wish. You came here uninvited, and you shall not leave. And you see this cocoon, this weird gray mist that was around the Mamul disperse, and then the mist around you becomes thicker and colder. It's like a shock going through all your system as everything around you just disappears, white and gray. You can barely see your own, like the distance of an arm's length, and you feel this terrible cold seeping into your bones. Edka, you're up first. As you just hear this creature snarl. At the start of your turn,
what now?
At the start of your turn, you take 9 points of psychic damage. You can feel the mist crawling into you, into your head, with cold fingers dancing over your brain.
All right. I am going to spend the key point and do patient defense.
Okay. You don't have to spend a key point for that. You can do it.
Oh, I don't? Okay.
If you don't want to do anything else, you can just do the dodge action, which is the same thing pretty much.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
So I'm going to be prepared for anything that.
Yeah. So you raise your shield, your weapon up, and like cover yourself with it. All right. Yeah. The creature, you can hear it. Just sort of snarling and breathing. But nothing else happens. We have Belka, you're up next.
Is it Belka or Shandarai?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Shandarai, yeah.
Okay.
You've only done maybe about 20, 30 seconds of your ritual, so it will take you still another couple turns to finish it.
I whispered to Velk, I think we probably should leave before we anger the spirits here anymore.
I don't know if we can leave, but we can certainly try.
I start walking, I guess, walking to the out.
Okay, so back the way you came?
Yeah, because there's nothing
also,
visible.
sorry, you also take, as you are getting up, you also take 7 points of psychic damage. So you get up, more sort of right yourself up. You try shaking off this cold. Naya also takes 8 points of psychic damage.
Yeah, there's nothing visible, right, that we can see to attack,
No.
I guess?
No, nothing. No.
You said 8?
8 points for you and 9 for Naya.
9. That's not good.
You can see your tiger just like bibbering and shaking, just like the Mamul did just a moment ago.
Okay. I double move out.
Okay, so you dash backwards into the mist.
Yes.
As you dash through. It feels for a moment as if the mist itself is trying to hold on to you as you're pushing through water, but there's a brief glimmer of your own energy, your own spirit coming out, and that feeling dissipates, and you leap out and you run backwards west, I guess. And I'm guessing Naya is following you.
Yes.
As you do, you lose sight of your companions immediately. However, that cold feeling, that horrible creeping sensation that was so hurtful to you also disappears.
And it's safe out here. Follow me.
All right, so that was your action and your movement. Do you have a bonus action you'd like to use?
No, I don't.
Okay. Then we have Belka up next.
All right, so I'm assuming Krull and Atka are within 5-ish feet of Velka right now?
Yeah, I'd say 5 feet, yeah, more or less.
Okay. So Velka is going to look at those two and say, all right, we need to get out of here. And then she's going to follow.
You take 8 points of psychic damage, Velka.
Got it. All right. And then she is going to kind of wincing as she feels like the cold raking across her skull and her mind almost. She's going to try and move after Ashandarai for her 30 feet of movement. Or actually, she's gonna move enough to get out of the cocoon if that's possible.
Yep, that will bring you at about 30 feet, yeah.
Okay. Does there seem to be anything in the immediate area that she can see, apart from the cocoon, obviously?
Just missed.
She's going to do this anyway because it's a cantrip, so why not? So she is going to, again, still with her shield kind of on her left forearm, just grab her ivory staff with both hands and say, Radi, spirit of thunder, grant me your power. And she's going to slam the staff onto the ground. She's going to cast Thunderclap. It's only within a range of 5 feet around her.
Okay.
But any creatures within that range need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. So you slam it underground, localized sort of thunder. And the mist is pushed back for a split second and doesn't reveal anything, however, and comes back in. Okay.
Can she see Ashandarai or Naya?
She can see Ashandarai just barely, and they're about like 30 feet away from you, so you can just barely see like the outlines of them, like shapes basically in the mist, but not properly see them as such.
Okay, then she will use a bonus action to, again, sort of calling upon the spirits of healing, and she will gesture with her staff and give Ashandarai a little bit of healing with a first level healing word. That is a whopping 4 points of healing.
Okay, yep, that's good enough for now.
Yeah, and
all
that is
right.
it.
We have Krull up next.
Again, I'm assuming because it's the mist, my dark vision doesn't do anything,
No,
right?
you take 5 points of psychic damage.
Okay. And then I will just kind of defensively maneuver to follow everyone as they, I'm assuming, leave out the thick mist.
Yeah, okay. So you follow basically where you saw Belka and Ashandarai disappearing, and you basically move up to Belka. That's as far as you can get, unless you want to dash.
Just somewhere I can stay within like 20 feet of everybody.
Okay. Yeah, so you move past Belka a little bit, and then you're like in between Ashandarai and Belka, basically.
Okay.
All right. The Mamul behind you lets out this suddenly much louder sound, and struggling. You can hear it's like moving and splashing around, but none of you can actually see it at the moment. You're too far, and you ran away from it, basically. Okay. As the cocoon has been taken away from it. Edka, your turn. You are now alone in this thick mist, and you take 9 points of psychic damage.
Ouch. Yeah, I am moving. But I do want to move not ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
I want to stay in the back, but close enough that, you know.
But you want, I'm assuming you want to get out of that very, very thick mist.
Oh, most definitely get out of the mist.
Okay. So you get up to basically where where Welka is. You can move further if you wish. You still have like 20 feet left.
No, I'm gonna stay where I'm at. Unless if it's still wrapped around me, then I'm saying screw that and moving.
No, no. You push through the mist like tendrils, or like tentacles nearly kind of hesitantly let go of you, and you leap out next to Naya. And just as you do so, the mist comes alive right next to Velka. And Velka, you see this large, long-limbed figure, this pale face with these purple lips, sharp teeth, large black eyes staring at you from like maybe 3 feet away, as it comes out of the mist and becomes visible, basically. And you see it's not alone, though. There's like 3 or 4 of these creatures, but there's something wrong. They're like shimmering and shifting around weirdly, as if they're kind of like semi-stuck together. And even before your mind can properly process that, the creature snarls and says, "Shaman!" And then 2 claws come shooting out of the mist to attack you. Your armor class is 15 at the moment, yeah?
That is correct.
First attack is with advantage. Misses, however. You're quick enough to take 1/2 step back and whoosh, the claw whips past. Second attack is that hits. So that's going to be 14 points of slashing damage.
Got it. Yeah, she lets out sort of this muffled grunt as blood just kind of splatters down her front from that attack. She is not looking so great.
And you see, in a nearly synchronous movement, all 4 of those creatures extend their tongue, and it sort of seems to weirdly dangle for a moment in front of your face, this weird black leech thing, and then is pulled back into all 4 mouths. Okay, that was the creature's turn. Ashandere, it is your turn now.
Okay. I forgot that I have maneuvers as a spellless ranger.
You do have them, yes.
I am going to use well, let me see. Let me first roll here.
Okay.
Yes, it's not going to help, but I'm going to roll. I'm going to use a precise strike to see if I can get additional.
What does that give you?
Plus D8 to attack.
So you're attacking? You're running up to the creature, or are you shooting?
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna run up and attack it with my spear, trying to get between myself, between Velka and the creatures.
Okay. So roll me a d20 first before you do anything else.
Okay. 16.
Okay. Oh, sorry. No. Sorry. I'm rolling that. My bad. So you just roll an attack roll.
Okay. Yeah, I know why. I'm not going to say it. 15.
Yeah, 15 hits. Your spear stabs into the creature and into one of those 4, in fact, and it just sort of disappears in a puff of mist. And now there's 3 creatures remaining.
That's what I thought.
And the creature snarls at you and laughs.
Dar has no idea what's going on.
You didn't feel any resistance. You just felt like stabbing air, basically.
Yeah. And Naya's going to pounce.
Yeah, go for it.
That's an 18 unmodified.
That hits another one of those creatures and just it disappears into mist.
Now, technically, this is up to you. I don't know exactly. Technically, that was a successful attack.
Yeah, but you can't. It doesn't have to roll anything because you didn't hit it. Basically, you hit another creature.
Okay, so basically, doesn't get a save throw to be knocked prone. Okay, that's fine. All right, and she like leaps through one of them, lands, and tries to figure out what happened there. And
creature just lets out this snarl as 2 of its kind of siblings disappear. These weird mist things. We are up at Velka's turn now.
So would she have seen these creatures seem to disappear without a whole lot of resistance?
They are very close in front of you. So there's 2 now left.
All right. Well, first, Velka is going to again call out to the spirits of healing, kind of pressing her staff against her chest, and she's going to heal herself. She's going to use second level, cure wounds.
As you do so, the creature sort of snaps back its head towards you, snarls, and hits you in the face with its claws, or attempts to anyway.
Oh, all right.
That's a 13 though, so you barely manage to bring your shield up, and the claws sort of grate across your shield, ripping into the leather and the wood, but not quite through.
Gotcha.
Luck.
Ooh, this is not good. So that was the action for that. Can you cast a spell and use but you can't cast another spell as a bonus action? Is that correct?
What you used healing? Sorry, not healing word.
Cure wounds.
Yeah. So no, you cannot cast another spell. You can cast a cantrip as a bonus action.
A cantrip. Got it.
So you can do Shillelagh for instance.
Yeah, you know what? She'll do that. She'll kind of snap out the ivory staff to her side as it lights up with that pale green light, and that will be it for her.
All right, go for excellent. So we are at Kroll then.
Kroll will seeing that
that whole thing is happening like 15 feet behind you, so you can see it quite well.
Right. Having seen Valka get hurt, Kroll would immediately dash over to within his 30 movement to to help aid and protect Valka.
Yep.
Because she seems to be the most effective in knowing things about all this weird spirit stuff. And we'll make a attack at the
reckless or normal attack.
Let's just go with the normal for right now.
Yep. Go for it.
9.
No, that misses.
Okay. Well, then he'll just stand there defensively.
You swing your axe, but both creatures kind of take a step to the side and just passes in between them. And they kind of snap back together again in this weird motion that nearly hurts your eyes to see.
Okay, I'll just stand there defensively to help Valka.
All right. We have the Mamul's turn. You can hear it. Sounds more energetic, angry now, really. Anything else? And we are at Edka's turn.
All right, since I'm like right there, I am definitely attacking one of them with my war club.
Go for it.
Yes. 21.
That hits.
Oh, okay.
Roll damage. You actually hit something. You hit.
I know. Oh, I did actually. Okay. 9 points of damage.
Okay. It feels weird hitting this thing, like you're hitting a sack of some sort of like grain or something like that. Not a creature as such, but there is resistance there, and it lets out this brief snarl of pain.
Okay, but it didn't disappear like the other one.
No, it did not.
Okay, I'm gonna spend a key point and do 2 more attacks on the same exact.
Well, they're kind of shifting around constantly, so it's hard to keep track. It's this weird motion. But yeah, go for it. 2 more attacks. So that's your 3rd key point, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Cool.
Let's see. 18.
You hit, and it disappears into mist. But now there's only 1 creature left.
Awesome. That's what I was trying to do. Okay. And my last attack is 16.
16 hits, yeah.
And
But it's 1 creature remains.
5 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't seem particularly impressed, but you are hurting it. It just sort of shifts away. Anything else would you like to do? Probably not, because you...
Yeah, that's it. That's all my...
The creature snarls up into the air and just releases this burst of cold out of it. So you are all within 10 feet of it, I believe. Yep, you're all within 10 feet, so all of you have to roll me a Constitution saving throw, please.
That's an 8 for Velka.
Nope, that's a fail.
That's a 17 for Kroll.
That is a success.
10.
10 is a
Oh,
fail.
and Naya might have done it. 16.
16 is a success.
And 12.
12 is a fail. Those of you who failed take 14 points of cold damage. The rest of you take 7 points of cold damage.
Adka falls.
As does Velka.
Nice.
You said 7?
Yes.
Honestly.
7.
Naya drops.
Ooh, shit.
She gets saving throws, so.
Okay. Yeah.
That means
That's
Carl's
it.
the
That's
only one
it.
standing.
So
What?
three of you, Naya, the saber-toothed tiger, Etka, and Velka, are now all of a sudden covered with this like frost, basically this blue, just like icy crystals, and they all just fall to the ground, completely blue and shaking. The creature turns around and says, "You should not have come to Kryakin land." And now snarls at the two of you remaining, Krull and Ashandere, whose turn it is right now. Ashandere.
I hit. That was like so.
So you stab it?
15 plus 7. So
Yeah, definitely. That most definitely hits.
yeah. I used one of my maneuvers.
Which one?
So precise strike. So
Oh,
that's so I could hit.
And
Yeah, I had precise strike and riposte. So
how many maneuvers have you used so far?
a 2 out of 4.
Okay, perfect.
And let's see, that's 5. 11 points of damage as I stab it with the spear again.
Okay, you stab it in the leg. A little bit of, there's not really blood. It's more like some sort of weird mucus comes out, with like slime or something, and it's kind of bluish purple, like the lips of this creature.
And I guess since it's Naya's turn,
Death saving throw for Naya.
yeah. Yes.
Success.
Success,
Excellent. Yeah. All right, and we are up to Velka, who is rolling a death saving throw, please.
You are up to Velka, who is failing a death saving throw.
All right, so
I rolled a 4.
Slowly being frozen, basically, by the ice as it is moving further and further across its her flesh. We are at Krull, one of the few left standing.
Krull will enter his second rage.
All right.
And
out the rage. Rah! You can hear this
and then
in the back somewhere.
He will actually sling his battle axe and grab both Belka and Atka and begin pulling them towards the exit of the mist.
Okay, the creature. So you can only pull them with half speed, which means you can only move 15 feet per turn.
Okay.
30 if you're dashing, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to dash.
The creature will slash at you as you move past it and away of its range.
Okay.
And hits you, yes.
What did it roll?
That's a 23 or something like that.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So that is 8 points, so 4 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
Take it in the back, but it's not a decent hit. Not a decent hit.
Yep. I'm just gonna keep pulling them out of danger.
Okay. Behind you, you hear a massively loud stomp. And a massive shape comes out of the mist, shaking but angry. And it just slams right into where Ashandere and the creature are fighting. A massive trunk comes flying through the air, hit in towards Ashandere, and a large leg stomps down onto the creature. Ashandere, let's see. That's a 16, so 17 is your armor class, right?
Yeah, just missed me.
So you just barely bring up your shield and it smacks into you. The sheer force of the Mamul's attack actually probably throws you like 10 feet and pushes you back. You just sort of skitter backwards, but standing unhurt. The stomping attack against the creature, 22, yeah, that hits. That creature takes 20 points of bludgeoning damage. It's kicked away, basically. Flies through the air, lands on all fours like a beast. Snarls. And the Mamul just lets out this angry roar. Its massive tusks slashing through the mist. Edka, your turn. Death saving throw.
All right, here we go. 13.
That's a success. The creature looks around and leaps at the Mamul, slashing it at its side. Yeah, hits both attacks. You can see the claws slashing through the fur into the Mamul's thick hide and into its flesh. It's 10 points and 14, so the Mamul takes 24 points of damage. It screams out in pain. It looks injured, quite severely injured. Shaking around, blood dripping down its side now, cut open. And we have Ashandere, your turn.
Okay. You said I'm about 10 feet back from this. I take a 5-foot step up.
Yeah.
And for flavor, I'm telling you, I have this large war spear, but I wield it one-handed. That's just for flavor.
Yep.
And I shift it along where I grab it further down, so now I have 5-foot reach. This is
You mean 10 foot?
Spear mastery.
Yeah, 5 extra feet. Yeah, that's right. You can do that as a bonus action.
Yeah. And I attempt to hit it.
What are you hitting? The creature?
Oh, the creature. Yeah, no. I'm
right.
I'm trying to communicate with the Mamul that we're on the same side because I haven't been aggressive towards it yet.
No, but it's pretty angry.
Yeah, but I'm trying to help it.
You can communicate or attack. You can't do both at the same turn. It would be an action to kind of roll like a persuasion check, basically.
That's fine. Then I attack the creature. Use another maneuver. Precise.
Yeah.
9
total?
18? No, 18. Sorry, I was just counting. It was 9 on the roll, but with all the bonus.
Yeah, 18 hits. The creature was like slashing into the Mamul. You catch it in the side. The spear enters into its ribcage a little bit.
11 points of damage.
Okay.
And
for the first time, it kind of looks visibly hurt this now.
And I'll step back the 25 more feet, so I move out of the way.
Well, you have 30 feet movement, right? So you had to move about 10 feet to get in there to stab it.
No, I moved 5 feet up. I had a 5-foot reach, so that's why I only had to move 5. Sure. And then so I moved back 25.
Yeah,
I'm 30 feet away from.
So you just dance in and stab at it and leap a couple large jumps backwards.
Yes.
Roll me actually, what's your passive perception? 15. Okay, now that's good enough, actually. You stop after about 15 feet abruptly as you notice that there is a pit behind you.
Oh, okay. 15 feet is fine. And that's a fail on the death saving throw.
For Naya, okay.
Yeah.
All right, that was Belka's turn. Death saving throw.
I passed my first death saving throw, or my second death saving throw.
So 1-1 so far. All right. We have Krull then.
Okay. Can I use my action to attempt to stabilize those that I'm dragging and forego the extra 15 feet of movement?
You can, yes. It would. You can only stabilize one of them, though. Or attempt to stabilize, that is.
Have you both failed a death saving throw, or have you both passed?
They both look... Actually,
no,
I think...
For physical rolls.
Belka looks a bit worse.
Okay, I will attempt to stabilize Belka then.
Okay, so that would be a medicine check with DC of 10.
That is a 12 on the die.
Yeah, I'm guessing your intelligence is not so bad that you can get under 10 with that.
Medicine check is wisdom.
Oh, wisdom, that's right. Not
my modifier is +0. So.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so you managed to... You're sort of ripping away the the ice and kind of throwing some sort of fur maybe over Belka, trying to get her warm, which seems to help. So she is.
I have a bedroll fur, so
yeah. So you just kind of use that. She is stabilized for now. All right, so that was Welka's turn. Sorry, Krul's turn. No, you have movement left. Do you want to do anything else? Bonus action or something? Oh, your rage, however, is ending now.
That's fine. But I will just use what movement I have to keep moving. Oh, towards the exit.
So you're like moving another 10 feet or 15 feet basically away from this whole thing. Okay, which means we have the Mamul's turn, and now that Ashandere is no longer in range, it will unleash its full fury against this creature with one miss. The creature ducks under the leg, but the trunk hits it in the face like a literal tree trunk. You hear the snapping sound as something within the creature's face breaks under the attack, and it takes 25 points of bludgeoning damage. Snarls in rage and anger. Okay, it is Edka's turn. So death saving throw, please.
All right, moment of truth. Awesome. 13.
13 is a success, so 2 successes. You are on your good way to stabilize. The creature, however, the creature dances under the Mamul, like between its legs, and starts slashing at its chest from underneath. It hits twice. Oof. That's yeah. You can hear the Mamul just screaming out in pain as the creature leaps backwards and rips open the chest of the Mamul. Blood spurts out, and the mighty beast sort of falls down to its side, nearly falling onto the creature, but it's fast enough to leap back, and it's holding what looks to be a piece of the Mamul's heart, clutched in its claws, and it just takes a bite. It looks hurt, the creature itself, though, after the Mamul strikes. But it's still standing. The Mamul is dying on the ground. Ashandere, your turn.
Okay, I move up some 5 feet away.
Yeah, run up to the creature. It's about, you have to basically move all the way in with your full movement to get to it.
I have to use my bonus action to do the reach again.
Yeah.
It only lasts for the turn. I'm not going to roll my last maneuver because that's an 11 on the die plus 7.
Yeah, so that hits.
9 points of damage.
9, okay.
And then I went back 15, so I move up 15 attack, then move back 15 again.
No, you have to move 25 to get to it. Or 20 to get to it, in fact.
Oh, but you said I only got pushed back 15.
Yeah, but
it
moved in its turn.
Oh, it moved. So okay, so I move up 20 and then back 10.
Okay. Well, Volka, you are stabilized, so that's it for you for now. Naya, roll a death saving throw for Naya.
Success.
Okay. Still holding out, fighting against the ice, which means we are at Krul's turn now. What do you wish to do? Krul? Justin? You're muted probably again if you're trying to speak.
Yes. Sorry, I muted when I went to talk. I'm assuming I'm more than 30 feet away.
I think you would be about 45 away.
Okay, so I can't reach for melee.
No, you cannot.
Then I will. But can I see the?
No, in fact, you cannot. You can only see about 30 feet. So you know approximately where the combat is going because you can still hear the creature snarling and the Mamul, the dying Mamul.
Okay.
you cannot see them at the moment. You had to move in a bit closer to see.
Well, in that case, I don't want to risk hitting Dar with a spear if I attempt to throw it blindly. So I will just throw my fur cloak over Atka and just continue moving back.
Okay. So you're pulling the people away.
Yes.
All right. Which means it is the Mamul's turn as it is dying to one last kind of swipe of its trunk. Its last strength. It tries to get the creature once more, but misses. Creature's too fast. Moves to the side and the trunk just sort of limply hits the ground. The creature... Oh, Edka's turn, sorry. Roll me a death saving throw.
Yep. All right, here we go. Yes, 17.
So you are stabilized. Nice. The creature looks over to the Mamul, looks to a Chandere, and gives him a really nasty grin. And it reaches up one hand and pulls it across its own face, kind of, and disappears. So, I believe that Paul had to leave us for a couple seconds, so we'll just continue, I guess, with... So Naya saves. Belka is unconscious, which means we are up at Cruel again. You've now... The sound of the combat has stopped. You just heard this last sort of deep, dying breath of the Mamul, and then sort of a chuckle and nothing.
Okay, so the two I have are stable and covered in fur at the moment.
Seems like
so. Sorry, because I was going to shout to Dar, but if he's AFK, it's a little.
We can take like a minute, I guess, and wait for him. This is kind of important at the moment, so it's probably best if we wait for a moment. Hopefully, he'll be back soon. Yeah, let's do another quick 2-minute break or so we can all grab water and stuff before we finish this adventure one way or the other. So right back.
So, let me see what happened.
We're all dead.
Okay.
Okay.
So what happened is that the Mamul tried with its dying breath to strike the creature once more. It dodged out of the way, however, and then it looked at you, gave you a grin, did a weird motion with its hands, and disappeared.
Sorry, repeat that last line again.
The creature did a weird, it looked at you, gave you a grin, it made a weird motion with its clawed fingers, and disappeared.
Was it after I hit it, or?
That was before you hit it. It is now your turn.
Okay. Shoot. Okay. So I guess I don't hit it. Naya stabilizes.
Yeah.
I take the dodge action, and I'm gonna just keep alert.
Okay.
Basically.
Yep. Do you want to do anything else? Say anything?
Actually, can I take that back? I'm gonna keep. Is everyone stabilized?
You don't know. You don't know where they are. I mean, you know where they are vaguely, but you don't see them. They're like 50, 60 feet away from you in the mist somewhere.
You know what? I trust Krull to do what's right. So I'm going to take the dodge action and keep my eyes open.
Okay. Yeah, Krull, your turn.
You said the cold and sense of the fight has disappeared.
You can't hear the fight anymore. You can't hear any more snarling or anything. The Mamul seem to have died. You can't hear it anymore.
Krull will shout out, "Thar, how goes?"
The creature disappeared. I don't know if it's still here, just evading my senses or not. So I'm keeping an eye out in case it comes back.
Belka and Atka okay, but unconscious. Maybe grab Naya and we get out?
Yeah, I can bring them all. I can bring them back to consciousness. Just need some time, but just want to make sure that the creature is still not here. I don't want it to stab us in the back.
Okay, I will continue to exit mist to bring them to safety.
And while you're still talking, a claw comes out of the mist and hits you straight in the chest, and the creature becomes visible right in front of you, slashing over your chest, and you take 11 points of slashing damage.
Krull or Dar?
Krull.
Okay. How many points?
11.
Okay.
Are you still standing?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Second slash of the creature. This time you are fast enough to duck. The second claw goes over your head. You shouldn't have come into Krayakin land. It snarls straight into your face.
Trying to leave.
No one leaves. Welcome. You are still unconscious. Naya is stabilized. Sorry, Ashandare, your turn. You hear now this shout.
Do you want me to re-roll that last hit I did?
What do you mean?
Well, I pre-rolled it. I put it in the chat that I hit for 13 damage. Or do you want me to re-roll?
Well, you can't attack it. You don't know where it is, and you're like 60, 70 feet.
Oh, okay.
It attacked Krull, who was dragging the other two people away.
Okay, so sorry, I'll have to leave Naya for now. I do a double move towards.
Okay, so you run through the mist, and you come out just like 10 feet behind the creature, basically, seeing its back, and it sort of casts a quick glance at you, but is still focused on Krull, trying to cut him down, and probably then cut down the unconscious people behind him. But it is Krull's turn now.
Well, I guess I will enter my last available rage until I sleep. Right. And go, and grab my battle axe and swing at the creature.
Go for it. Reckless or normal attack?
Let's go normal.
Okay.
That is going to be 15 to hit.
Exactly hits. It tries to twist out of the way, but just barely too slow, and you smack it in the side into the ribs.
13 damage.
Ooh, nice. You hear ribs shattering under the impact. Blood pours, this weird purple-blue goo shoots out of the mouth to the disappears in the mist amongst your feet, basically.
And I'll just assume a defensive posture over my 2 unconscious friends.
All right. We are so Edgar stabilized. So the creature's turn again. It looks between Ashandere and Krull. Which are you guys looking heavily injured? How are you looking at the moment?
I am slightly under half my max HP.
Oh, okay, so you're still looking pretty okay.
I am hurt. I think it can take me out if that's what it's looking for.
It's just sort of gauging which one of you is to kill first, and sees you already heavily injured, so it will leap away from Krull, which provokes an attack of opportunity on you, and descend down upon Ashandere, trying to rip his face off.
That attack of opportunity is going to be a 17 to hit.
Hits, yeah.
And that is going to be an 8 damage.
Okay. Yeah, it looks pretty heavily injured now. Scream as you strike it in midair, but it continues flying, tackles basically Ashandere, bringing its claws down upon him. And hits you once. The second claw is stuck in the shield, kind of. But the one claw kind of stuck in your shield. The second one, however, reaches past.
Before it does the second attack, it missed me the first one, you said, right?
Yes, it did.
I would like to repost.
Nice. Your last one. Yeah, go for it. It goes for your throat, basically. One hand is kind of, one claw is in your shield, and the other one goes straight for your throat to rip your throat out. But you can get your spear out in time and pierce it.
This even though I rolled bad, 16.
16 hits, yeah.
Okay, this is actually 2d8 damage because I get the d8 extra.
This could be enough.
That's what I'm hoping. One dice came up a 1. But the other one came up 7. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points of damage.
It had 13 hit points left. So as it goes for your throat, the spear is faster. How do you want to finish it off?
So as it attacks, I spat its claw away with my shield, opening up and stabbing it right through the throat. And
it sort of impales itself onto your jumping down on you onto your spear.
And I have a cold gaze, just at like pure predator at this point. It thought it had the upper hand, and I was just waiting for that opening, and I just stare at it as the life drains from it.
It looks at you like it's basically pierced, it's impaled itself upon your spear, which went all the way through. It kind of slid down your spear, and the face is only maybe about not even a foot away from yours. The creature is slightly taller than you, but lanky and disgusting, and it looks at you, and you can see its black eyes sort of blinking, and there's blood, this purple goo running all across your hands that are clutching the spear, and it feels cold, this blood, not warm. It looks at you, blinks, and it says, "No!" And then its eyes break, and it kind of slumps down and slides off of you, and you push it away, and it hits the ground still. And then it starts dissolving. It's like bits of mist, like the tips of a candle flame, kind of like start flickering away from it. Just like, and the whole body starts slowly shrinking as basically Krull and Ashandere, the two of you, sort of 10 feet apart on each side of the creature, one of you just looking down on this now. And as you do so, a little bit of sunlight pierces the mist on top of you, shining down onto the two of you. And slowly, the mist itself starts dissipating.
So we can see now?
It will take a couple minutes for the whole mist to be gone, but you can see better now, yeah.
Krull will be like, well, we did, but still no food.
Well, the Mamul was dead, right?
Yeah, definitely.
we have some food. I can clean it up and
Can
perhaps I
carry
can salvage.
plus companions?
Give me an hour. We'll get them all together. You keep them safe. Give me an hour. I will help them back, and then I will make. I only know the word in travois. Two pieces of basically making a sled with a few pieces of wood. I can use my staff and one of my spears.
So, as you are doing that, Kroll, your gaze falls onto the dissolving body of the creature, and you see a weird flickering purplish light that sort of comes into existence approximately where the creature's dissolving chest was, kind of flickers and turns into this weird sphere of purple energy that slowly starts drifting upwards into the mist.
I will point that out to Dar and say, weird purple float ball.
Okay. Is it within 20 feet?
Yeah, it's only about 10 feet maybe away from you or so.
Okay, I throw a spear.
Okay, roll me an attack roll.
11?
11 misses. The sphere flies past the thing.
Okay, I'm gonna drop my shield and pull up my longbow.
Okay. Does Kroll want to do anything?
Yes, I'm actually gonna pull out my sling
Okay.
and sling a rock or whatever sling ammunition we have.
Go for it. Yeah, rock, yeah.
It's only a 10.
Nope, misses as well. It's just...
Wait, would I still be raging?
The rage doesn't help you with rage attacks. It's only...
Well, more if I could... I can't reckless attack. That's melee only, right?
No, that's melee only, yes.
Okay.
Exactly. The thing grows ever so softer and starts slowly disappearing in the mist, but you can just barely see it. It's kind of... And it looks like a little bit of mist seems to be gathering around it.
And how... Oh, no. How far away is it?
Now about 30 feet above you.
I'm going to take a chance and draw my last spear.
Okay.
And throw it.
Okay, go for it.
That is at disadvantage, though.
Okay.
$13?
13 hits exactly. The spear pierces the light, and you hear this faint, and then the light disappears, and the sphere falls down to the ground.
I go to recover my spears and take a look at it.
As you take the spear, pull it out of the ground, basically. For a moment, you see this weird purplish glare, this light across the spear, and then there's a crackling sound. And the tip of the spear is covered in ice all of a sudden. This thick layer of silverish ice.
I keep that spear out, and I put the other one back. And I want to keep an eye on that one.
Okay.
See if it...
Yeah, sure. It doesn't seem to do anything. It's just covered in ice, and as the mist around you disappears and then the sunlight falls onto the spear, the ice does not seem to melt. And as you are kind of, when you put your hand close, you can feel a little bit of cold emanating from the ice and a little bit of like occasional puffs of like mist, but very, very tiny. And you guys can eventually, actually roll me a d4, Edka and Belka, please.
4.
Okay, so Belka is out of it for a while.
It's okay. I just need an hour if I collect herbs. So once we realize that we're safe, make sure all of the unconscious companions are together.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take an hour to out of the mist. Well, it said it's dissipating, but we move out of where it was, and
yeah.
I'm trying to find some herbs and poultices, and an hour I can make 3 more.
Yeah, that is not a problem. You can find them. Once the mist is gone, you can see like half a dozen tar pits of different sizes in the area. But as soon as you lose that area, leave that area, you can see a couple of bushes and stuff, and start gathering the herbs from there. In the meantime, Krull, while Chandra is gone, you're watching the two unconscious forms of your companions. You see the wolf pack coming closer now that the mist has disappeared, and they are moving towards the dead body of the Mamul. Mostly here.
Because we did agree to let them have some of the meat. How much smaller is this Mamul from when it entered the mist?
It is the same size. It just looked smaller because it had half sunk into one of the pits.
Oh, okay.
But you didn't get a good look at that. That's why it looked smaller. In the mist, you didn't manage to realize that, basically.
Okay.
It's still a massive thing, so it will be easy for a whole tribe for probably a week or two at least, maybe more.
How many wolves are there?
6 wolves in total.
Okay. If we split the animal with the wolves, how many days worth of food would that leave the tribe?
Well, so I'd say one of those mamuls is probably, let me see, I'd say about maybe let's say 200 rations, 150 rations, sort of meat-wise. The wolves would probably each eat about maybe 2 rations or so, 2, maybe 3 in their starved state. So you would lose from the 150 or so, you'd lose maybe 20 if the wolves eat their full, basically.
How long would that keep our village going?
Well, you have about 60, 70 people. So probably 3 days, 4 days of like feasting, basically. Which is usually what you do.
So I think this was successful, but for now, and then we
can look for more things on the way back.
Yeah, you hope that within a week or so, or half a week, more of your hunters should be able to hunt again. Some are already on the way of the recovery, but they need food to like fight off the last remnants of the fever.
While he's collecting the herbs, I will go over and speak with animals and talk to the lead wolf and say, well, we only got one, but well, we are willing to share if you guys eat what you need and leave us the rest. And
it gives you a nod and a wolfish grin kind of thanks, and then they all just start devouring the carcass, mostly going for the soft spots, kind of like the trunk and the interior of the chest where the creature has slit it open with its claws, so like tearing at the heart.
And then while he's gathering the herbs, would I be able to consider that a short rest because it's an hour?
Yeah, that would be.
Okay, because that gives me a couple things back.
Yeah, you get your stuff back. Anyway, so after a while, the wolves have eaten their full, just as Chandra is returning, basically. Naya has been collected, I guess, in the meantime, is also lying unconscious next to the other two. And the wolves kind of look towards you and give you kind of small bows and then disappear. Now, much...
Oh, am I there before they leave?
Yeah, you are here just before they leave. They're just sort of like finishing their meal. They've like eaten as much as they could, basically.
How many are there?
6 wolves in total.
Do they want to hunt with us again? They didn't really hunt this time, but at least they're better. They've been at least fed now. If they want to join us and hunt, basically join our pack for the next hunt.
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
Can I do animal handling?
Sure, yeah, that works too.
Okay, that's a lot. From a 5 down, that would have been a -1 instead of a 5. Let's see. 19.
19, nice, yeah. So the wolves look at you, and the leader, the alpha wolf, says, "We will be there." And they all turn and run. And you can just hear the alpha wolf saying, "Call us when your pack hunts."
Beginning of the domestication of wolves.
Yay! Historical moment there.
I'm more of a cat person. No.
Yeah.
My character's
Well,
more.
there's some saber-toothed cats over in the trees over there for you.
That's
Anyway,
true.
You manage to basically get Edka and Velka awake, who blink and kind of like a lot of pain and quite cold, but covered in furs, and now in the very, very bright sun of the summer, manage to recuperate quite quickly of this unfortunate encounter.
Did we win?
I think we must have, or else we would be dead and not reeking of Ashandare's famous poultices. And she, even though she says that, she smiles at you, Dar, and says, "Thank you. That was very well done. And it looks like you got what we came here for. And you as well, Krull."
Yes,
I
we
call
won.
them smelling salts. They will.
That would explain the smell.
We got food, and wolves have agreed to help us hunt again in the future.
Excellent.
That's good.
That is, the spirits have blessed us. You all did well. And Velka will very slowly and painfully get up to her feet.
All right. So you manage to chop apart the Mamul and grab as much as you can carry, basically, which isn't as much as you would like, but you can come back soon with more people, with some of the not quite as heavily injured ones.
Can I use a survival check to make a travois? I don't know exactly.
I know.
Like the Native Americans made something. So it would be 2 pieces of wood with another one joining to make a little sled to drag along. So we try to load that up.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you don't need to roll a survival check. That would be easy enough for your character.
Speaking of that, since I have 4 spears. Can I use my furs to make 2 more of those, and myself have one, and one of our other companions also have one?
Sure. Yeah. So you build, maybe chop even some branches from nearby trees and build with your like pieces of the Mamul's fur that you cut out. It will take you a couple hours, but build basically these sledges and start loading them up with meat wrapped in fur, and then just each of you, or 3 of them, or maybe even 4 of them, kind of start pulling them while Naya is kind of limping after you. And you return to your tribe laden with food, and return very soon after to the Mamul with a couple more people to get the rest of the meat. And that should be good enough to fight back the fever and make your tribe ready to continue their journey south towards the great green sea. But that's a story for another time. And this one-shot is nearly over. I will say one more thing. Drenga, after inspecting the spear of Ashandare, will return it to you, and he will say that you have slain some sort of unholy creature with it, some foul beast, and the essence of this beast, the magical essence, is now within the spear. The spear has gained magic by itself, and it will now serve you on your further path.
All right.
The cold core of this Kryakin thing, this weird creature bound to it, basically. And yeah, with that, we will end tonight's one-shot. So that was The Hunt, and it went mostly successfully, I'd say. No one died. It was close, but no one died. Well, none of the player characters, that is. So we will pick this up maybe another time, and another Stone Age D&D one-shot. I had a lot of fun. So thank you for my to my players. Thank you for playing, and to our viewers, thank you for watching. And we will catch you again later. 3 Mouse Game says bye bye and good night.